I noticed that at the gym where you go to get healthy, they had at the fake gym in my neighborhood that they moved me out to. Um, they had all these ads. I see them online for like people who are old and should be dead, but they're struggling and to hold on to life. They're like selling breathing machines so you can go climb mountains with your breathing machine on. And then I notice, my do not resuscitate sign on the door, and that I often also write on my forehead or my hand. I don't have any rights there. I don't have the right to not be resuscitated. And who's behind all this shit? You got it. The Christians, the Satanists, the Bible people. So they flee the Middle Earth. They don't flee the Middle Earth. They colonize the planet as they spread, like the bubonic plague, which came right with them. Imagine that. AIDS and bubonic plague came wherever they went. Fucking. So not only if you're lucky, you get killed, right? Other than that, you get raped and then you have their kids and you get AIDS and bubonic plague and stuff. And, you know, I know it's hard to do. And looking at the timeline of what we should have done and how we should do it, you come to the conclusion that, you're a cuck. If you haven't figured out the only way out of this place is death, and this place is like a giant torture chamber, this Earth planet, and they're forcing you to date their people, raise their kids, worship their race, fucking let them fucking colonize you, etc., etc. Just it's constant garbage when dealing with them, and even if you don't do anything, like they don't let you live outside on the streets. Those are actors and shit. I've been to places where there was whole camps of them, and the camps were empty at night because they went home to their beds. On the West Coast, they had those wars against the police. There was no one in those fucking tent cities at night. They were laying at home, comfortably sleeping in their beds. That was fucking crazy. There wasn't a single light on from like someone lighting their little candle or sterno can. And I'm like the only person out there in the city and shit. But there's like all these tents set the fuck up in the middle of the city, taking up all the space and shit. And they're, then they use their propaganda fucking to be like, oh, these evil poor people are destroying our city so they can bring in the police force and shit. So you can't do that. That's not an option to go live outside. Those are actors and shit. Yeah. Actors do a lot of cocaine. That's called a crackhead. So if you ever wonder, never question how poor a crackhead is. Because you're the crackhead if you don't realize how damn expensive it is and how rich you must be to do these things. Fuck, drugs is the most expensive thing on the planet per gram, per milligram. You sell that shit in a milligram these days. You didn't sell fucking. I bought 5 grams of some shit for like 100 and stuff. Like right, and that was a super discount. I think it was like fucking $80 for a gram. Something. It was something. But that's legal medication and shit. Fucking your antibiotics are what, $120 for bread mold. But so you just, if you're worried about it, if you don't enjoy being a slave, and you don't, I think the thing there is to enjoy on earth is enslaving others. A slave doesn't matter if he's a slave as long as they can take it out on someone else. Certain personality types are that way. As if, their parents beat them, so they have children, so they can beat someone themselves, and it brings gratitude and joy. And I don't know, I'm, you, you can only assume these things happen. Fucking, so you come to the conclusion that, well, you're just gonna go in the woods, right? And never be seen again. But you can't do that. The world's populated. They've already left Middle Earth and beat everyone to death and raped them with their butt. No, we're always confusing with how evil death is from evil people's words. When death is the greatest thing on this planet. That's the freeing that you no longer have to be here. And so they have their little systems set up here, and you can't go live outside because the Bible invaders have colonized every piece of land. They went and set up a slave camp and to the farthest reaches of the west of the map, except for the very farthest reach where they're putting on these shows of fake homeless camps and fake black people lives matter events and shit to obviously this would be to control the population because there ain't none of those people out there, and there is a lot of Hollywood producers apparently showing up to those events. So, and obviously the news is fake, so they're getting their money off that shit, aren't they? And the most important thing is control, right? Like, money doesn't even matter. You own a gold palace in Rome. You have a palace on every corner. You have like a palace on literally every corner. Every four corners of the street, there's someone selling drugs or a church. The same people, right? What's the difference? The difference is one of them's going to manipulate you and tell you they're not the other, and the other one's going to manipulate you and tell you you're not the other, but you're going to visit both of them. And the one over here, who's both of them combined, is going to say they're neither. And they're the government. You got your drugs, church, and over here is the place where crackheads go to get sold high quality, cheap salt drugs, fucking ammonia, and whatever cheap shit they can find. But that's not either of them. That's not the church or the drug dealers. That's the government and their doctors. So it's a government place, the holy trinity of bullshit and losers. Fucking waste of trash. So you're not gonna make it, right? The Christians, they shed their other skin, and they're Christians and they're good people. They're not the original people that they plagiarized every word they say from. No, not at all. Just like the Satanists aren't the Christians hiding again. No, not at all. Just like the atheists aren't going to the moon with Santa Claus like the Christians did. Not at all. Anyway, so you can see Buddha, it just takes a few seconds once you realize that. Buddha is out east too. And where are people smart enough to invent these type of mind games from? That's right. Who invented writing? Most likely people on the planet would have been the Chinese. They're the only people who can do anything, apparently. Fucking one nation is fancy because they're murderers and robbers and rapists. But they're not the smart people now, are they? They aren't the ones building the future. So someone wrote a book, and it wasn't them people over here and shit. They can't even rewrite fucking... Oh, well, wait a minute. They did write the 2112th Bible, didn't they? Oh, that's right, the Mormons. Yeah. And they got 100 others here, right? So, yeah, they did. They can't rewrite the Satanic. Obviously, can't rewrite it properly because... Anyway, so the point is, You've been colonized, and your mother's a whore, and your dad's a cuck. That's probably the largest portion of what's reality happening on this planet. Cucks and whores and fucking homo rapists from the Bible. And so these people have taken all the land on earth. They own, thanks to their government, they own most of the land on the earth. Tax free, never have to pay it again if you own a church. Never have to pay for your land. But you do got to charge the people you've enslaved and raped. You do got to charge them for it. So, other than that, I mean, how else does the Pope get a gold mansion? That dude's a bitch. They get fucking smacked down the first time he gets on the street begging for crack money. But his ancestors put in all that hard work. So, you can't go outside and live because they're out there. Obviously, their media is telling you something else is happening, and they're having terrorist pedophile actors on the street come out and kill people. They have all the rights in the world. They're not living beings. There is no law against these Bible robots killing, torturing, maiming other people. And they're alien overlords because I'm sure it's a real person and not a fucking AI slot bot generating all this trash. Oh yeah, because real people are real stupid and useless and disgusting. I mean, you would have to be a computer to slop some of this shit together, but let's just assume. So you have the alien Terminator invaders, they occupy the whole fucking planet. And so you can't go outside and live because then the Muslims and the Star of David show up and tell you you're being a bad Christian. Get the Bible! Quran! My brain is in the hole! I got a brain! I'm a living being! I just mentally retarded! That's all! I'm a living being. Because I got the Bible. The Bible says so. Bible says living beings can be retarded and see flying reindeers and shit. So that's what you're dealing with trying to go live outside. You're dealing with a bunch of retarded pedophile, homo, rapists from the Quran and the Bible. And they've already, obviously the Quran is their mother, because that's the master people, because they only touch girls, and that's what a man would do. Now what you do when you're colonizing a bitch, if you're a fucking piece of shit, and really want to control them, you teach them teach the men to be raped. So you can tell the Quran is probably the real Bible, because it's the trashiest. And the other two are like bitches they've raped and repeatedly until their brains became soft and they became fucking willingly slaves who go outside and participate in any of this rather than killing the motherfuckers and refusing to do anything. One of the two. You got one of the two options because they've taken away the third option of just going outside and avoiding them the rest of your life. Because you aren't a flesh bag, organic, that they need to use because they're non-living fucking predator robots who can invent new things and have to steal their music and ideas from the living beings here. Fucking. So you got your options, right? Is there a different option? Well, you can always fry your brain. You can't be a bitch if there's no one in you to be a bitch. And we're left here. Obviously, by the time you get to the point you realize that frying your brain with excessive drugs and toxins or whatever, chopping off your legs could work too, and your arms, but it's going to be a little bit more painful, ain't it? Well, this other shit's painful too, but that's also going to be painful, And then you're going to have to deal with it. You got to now the homo Bible rapist have you sitting in a chair the rest of your life, and they can do whatever they want, put their hands on you, take you wherever they want to go, and you can't say a word about it. You see, what we're dealing with here, it's almost as if a computer has taken the sickest ideas that have ever been written, like an AI, and it slopped them together and it was like, we're going to create robots with this. So, these are the things that happen on this planet. And the way to escape it is to get away from them. And if you end up being recycled back on Earth, then you're just going to have to man up and keep getting out of here as fast as you can. Those are your options. Your options as a human, as a living being, if you're actually a human and not a robot, what they don't have their full faculties. They're really dumbest computers I've never heard of. Fucking purposely. Imagine programming a computer to rape children instead of do math calculations, and then imagine the type of retard who wants to take a computer and do something like that with it. Take away the only purpose. You just smash every computer in the world if you ain't using a fucking calculator on it, because it's just trash. You ain't playing no games, you ain't using a calculator, you ain't editing something. You're fucking trash. It's trash. You take all those skill sets away from it and you just program it to be trash. There's no purpose for it to exist, is there? There's no reason for a computer like that to exist. So something's going on here, and the only ways out of it is to get out of it as fast as you can. And I'm pretty sure that'll be your last time, and probably the only time you've needed to avoid this stuff happening here. But it is weird. Like I already understood it by one, but then again, I understand things in a couple seconds. As soon as they were all in it together, I understood fucking 40 years of information and shit with the missing piece to fall into place. So that's your options, but you probably would want to do that early, because I mean, like, how do you convince someone that they need to do something until they learn they need to do it? That's the thing there. Fucking those people have already killed off everyone on the planet fucking worth being around. So there's no reason to. Obviously, they need certain people alive for certain things. Their music is pretty shitty, and that's with them stealing it. Fucking, that's with them stealing it from someone else. Fucking, so obviously someone somewhere is getting paid to watch all this stolen douchebag Daryl Panturta music and shit. Someone else somewhere is getting paid for that, because it seems to be a big deal for them to do that. Obviously, you got the control levers where they have to be all the stars and worship their gods. You know, it's Jesus, it's Allah, and it's Satan, and Einstein. Obviously, they have a mental problem. They're psychopathic fucking narcissists. They think they're so great that people should worship them. Probably because no one would ever talk to them if they didn't spend thousands of years setting up systems like this. You know, I went out when the Bible invaders first started with their Quran. They invaded other people because no one else would talk to them. I wouldn't put it past them, because you got the jealousy thing. It's super obsessive, jealous, fucking, and Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, why do you need to be on TV all the time? Why do you need to fucking create religions and run millions of religions? Why do you gotta lead every event in the world? Well, you're obsessed with something, either power or I don't know what it's like, but you can tell by the way they respond. Fucking some people just no one wants to talk to them. So there and then there are some people who need someone to talk to all the fucking time and shit. And you combine them together, you get a Charles Manson pretty easily. You know, that imagine living 80 years and never getting anything you want from life. And all you want is someone to talk to all the time. And we have that, don't we? It might come with this estrogen drug. Fucking, I'm not sure. I'm not dumb enough to take that. I'll make you dumb enough to take it if you take it, apparently. That shit probably is what will fry your brain. That's the one thing I'm missing here. It's taking that. But I don't want to because we're playing into like chopping your legs off. That's playing into their role because now you're stuck in a chair and now they really can rape you anytime they want and get you to do everything they want to do and tag along with you, fucking have you wheel along with them and shit. So you gotta watch those things too. So if you're gonna fry yourself, you gotta get to the point where you don't realize what's going on anymore. Because they're gonna take advantage of that, just like they're already trying to do that to you while you can already think. And you might have caught that before. You won't be catching this anymore if we can be successful. But so if we get that far, we got to get to the point where it just doesn't matter, like right now, I'm operating my phone and I'm recording a video. That's too much. I shouldn't remember what a human is. When I go outside, I should be in shock that there are these fast, big hunks of something traveling down the road and making beep beep sounds. I should be like running back in my house when I go outside and see that. Like, what the fuck is that? That's where we got to get to because it's not going to benefit them and it's going to benefit us because we won't have to remember any of it. And they won't gain. See, they're trying to see with the drug thing, drugs are available because they're trying to keep it so they can use them, obviously. And then they can, the Bible people are drugging children at their schools with the government. And the doctors, they're drugging children there because sometimes they want to fry them if they're a little too smart. Because they want to keep the cow. You see how the cow is. Have you ever seen a cow? What happens is cows just sit there and they chew grass. And then one day, they're poked with an electric prod to go into the slaughterhouse so they can feed people. That's all they do. They go out there, they chew on the grass, and they're like, There's not much going on. Unless they just really hate life and they don't think there's any chance of there's not much going on. They bred cows down to like rodent fucking brains, fucking gerbil brains. So they're not trying to escape. They could probably easily ram the fucking gate if it's not electrocuted. It's not. That's kind of new shit. That's kind of for expensive farmers and shit. So they don't have the brain capacity to do it. But that also means that when I shoot one of them, it doesn't have the brain capacity to feel it. So it doesn't move. It just and that's what we need to be aiming for, I think, because that's the end. That's the point here, anyways. People are just being milked, and they're being taken to the slaughterhouse. Except for it's a reverse slaughterhouse because it's slavery. the cow's not going to be able to do much more. You train the cow to do something other than that, it's going to charge the gate and escape eventually. It's a big animal. Um, so that this is what we're left with here. They're trying to drug people who are smart down to their level so they can cowize them, right? So they can turn them into cattle. That's where the calling humans cattle and sheep come from. It's because that's literally what they're doing. And so, obviously, but if as a human, see, they don't let people know they eat humans. So they don't want other humans doing that because the humans are like honeybees and ants. They build, they take care of their women after, Donald Trump and Elon Musk people and the rest of the Bible people, once, the masters of the Bible. Once the rest of the, obviously, he's the sales. Donald Trump's the poster child for a Bible salesman now. Anyone who tells you differently is got you herded into a pen. So, and trying to get you there. It's part of the cattle prods, the threats, and the eternal threats, and the actual invasion, and the bombing. I mean, isn't bombing Iran the greatest cattle prod of all time? They just don't bomb America too much. They did that one time, and then that got wiped under the rug. Because it's like their stuff, You don't shit in your own couch. But they would. So they got, they've got their little calm methods. But if you can get yourself to a point where you're just like the cow, there's nothing going on, then that's probably like the best thing you can do. Supposedly some people can die from things. I wouldn't know how much that accuracy is because, you telling me these weren't professionals following me around the fucking world and shit, trying to put in poisons in my drink and shit like that, got my brake lines. Obviously, some of them weren't professionals, but I mean, some of them definitely fucking had the money of the professional fucking and knowledge and ability to track me down of a professional. Not all of them. Fucking, and, they got their little hospitals here filled with their people. Those are supposedly professional druggers. They're professional lifesavers. So the thing about understanding about saving lives is you understand how to end them better than other people too. So those should be the experts next to the military. Fucking, so you really have only got one option here. Because, how fake is this dying shit? There's two options. Obviously, the option isn't to do what other people are doing and working with them, because they're working with them. Really, if you don't like what's going on, the other people are the ones doing it, not Jeffrey Epstein. Fucking, I've never met, well, wait a minute, I got paid by those people. I work for them. That's some of the best human interactions I've ever had. Oops. I had someone somewhere far below them, like them crackheads down there, who were working with the government, literal crackheads, and fucking, but they were working with the government and the people on Google, obviously. Fucking. So, that's what you do. Like I said, I think that most of the crackheads are actors because they're people. They sent several of their cult members to try to recruit me, and they spent a lot of time trying to recruit me into their racial supremacy Nazi organization. Well, I'm sorry, it's not Nazi, it's globalist. Yeah. Fucking. They just defame the Nazi shit because the real answer is Alex Jones and his globalist Bible cartel. his New World Order Bible cartel. Fucking. So those are the only ways out of here, right? So you either get out of here, or you, if you can fry yourself down to that cow level, the joke will be on them. They won't be able to do anything with it, and they'll be stuck fucking paying for tubes, while you're laying in a hospital bed as a vegetable. If you can get it that far, I'm assuming it stops somewhere before that and shit. Your ability to continue doing it stops before that, but it's still going to be close to that level, and that seems to be a desirable roof to reach there. At least get to the roof of that level there. Fucking I don't see. I mean, I would assume. I never had no one talk to me about this. I understand it takes a while to learn, but I never had adults tell me about this shit. And most people in my life fucking never discussed, like, the basics either. Fucking. So I assume they're not even people, because I'm getting the idea maybe the ones around me haven't been alive very long, more than a few hours or weeks or years. Fucking, because you would think you would talk to people about this shit at some point in time, and not just be like, oh, look, I'm a terrorist, you're a terrorist, and I'm a terrorist too. Let's all be terrorists together. Fucking, no one's ever told me that either, you know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be fun and shit. Fucking, but I think, it's a desirable thing to do. Unfortunately, right now, they got that system going on where they are selling people breathing machines to walk in mountains. It's pretty sick. You must be a real sick individual if you just think you're so great, you need to fucking be doing all that shit. And this world's so great. You're so great, and the world needs you, or the world's so great, you need it. It's why aren't they selling these people drugs? Giving them some electroshock therapy, because that's my first guess. Is if your life's so bad you need a fucking breathing machine to go outside, then I don't think the problem is fucking you need a breathing machine. Fucking sounds like there's a different problem there and shit. Fucking, especially when you understand the health required, what it takes to get to that point where you can't breathe. Like, old people sit down and don't move for 20 years because they don't want to go around people. They don't go around. No one wants to go around them. And then that reduces your airflow and shit. And fucking, they're not going to go out, climb a mountain. If they're going to go climb a mountain, they would have done that. Fucking. But if you can get your mind to that state where, it needs a machine to keep it going, and then you probably achieved pretty well on this planet, because there's really not any point to be here. Those are some real sick people trying to force other people to be alive. That comes from the Middle Earth Invader book, doesn't it? Of course it does. Because all the sickness in the world comes from, fucking rainbow flag Epstein. It's the first book of the world. Literally, no one had to invent language before that, because no one was trying to manipulate everyone into buying a breathing machine so they can live till they're 100. They're not going to live that long. People are living till 80 still, even with the breathing machine. Still. Once you get to the breathing machine, I think you'd probably realize you're not going to be able to. You've really been smoking your joints rolled in Bible pages if you're like on a breeding machine, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna live to be 120 if we just keep paying them all our money and stuff. If I keep cash, if I sell the house, I can buy this breeding machine and I can go climb a mountain. Fucking. I mean, I'm telling you, these are not living beings. These are not living being thoughts. This is irrational computers' thoughts. Like AI slopping shit together and stuff. Fucking. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way a person who wants to sit inside so long that they breathe, want to go, can't breathe anymore, want to go climb mountains. I quit going outside when I was 40, but now I'm 70. I think it's time to go outside and climb some mountains. It makes no sense there and shit. Fucking, those things don't add up. Fucking lots of this don't add up though. Like, why don't you ever hear that shit from people? You know, when I was a kid, where I heard things can fry your brain because they're giving me drugs at school, at the religio government school, fucking, they're giving me drugs to wax me, and then they send some people to create a cop band in a week later to brag about doing it by making it look like they're against it when literally they're the ones doing it. And then so you have that shit happening, and they're telling you you can fry your brain on certain things, and that's why their people act the way their race does, because they've been doing drugs, and that's just, it's not all of them, it's just the ones you meet. And so I figure there's two ways out of here, right? And you got to find it. You can't be a loser. You can't be a quitter, because you know you're like a failure if you think you've gotten somewhere and you haven't figured out what's going on yet. Like, well, you don't know, do you? You don't know. I think that's the thing about most people I know is they probably think they're fucking geniuses and shit, and accidentally left their school papers out for people to see what grades they really got. So, or told people. A lot of people tell people things and then continue acting on. Fucking. Never really had that discussion with anyone. I just hung out with people who were doing shit. So we didn't have that problem. Maybe they were forced around me or something. I didn't really care, you know. That's the point of not going to school is learning. I mean, generally, right? It's because you don't care, but I didn't have to be there because I knew this shit, so it was a waste of life either way. But not caring definitely is like a huge benefit, and a reason other people around me probably didn't go. I don't know. Man, my one friend was running businesses by the time we were all running businesses, but he was running someone else's business by like 17 and shit. Fucking. So maybe it was the same thing. Maybe a lot of the people dropping out aren't dropping out because like the TV. So I mean, the TV's, it's got all its Bible propaganda. It's reverse words. They create these reverse words to make something look like something it isn't. Like they say it's a crackhead, and I say no, it looks like your family. And then they say, you know, every day they say, oh, that's child molester, and they say, well, you're the one who legalized child molesting. They say, oh no, we're not gay, we're against gays. It's like, but you're the only gays we know. Huh. You know, it's just like, oh, don't kill people. And it's like, well, you're the only people killing everyone on the planet and invading and bombing everyone and going to war. So, you know, it's just, by the time they say you gotta stay in school, your parents should have already taught you about that one. But most likely, I'm assuming these people are narcissists and shit. And what they're like, what's that called? Traumatized when you are something because it's all that's ever been and you're never going to change. Or is it a genetic thing? Is it DNA? Is it DNA? Is that real? It can't be because two of the clones had different DNA, but they were two of the clones. Fucking so it's I think again Pope Einstein and his DNA. I think it's might be another Bible lie. Just another one. Just throw that in there with the other 10 million other ones. Fucking. So, I figure these things might work and shit. Hopefully they can. There is no reason for anyone intelligent to be working with them because they've already fucking killed your chance of even breeding another one of your cells. So, they're not going to find another one. The cattle ones they're not cattle. They're fucking Nazi soldiers. They're globalist fucking soldiers and shit. They're not. The cattle are cows who sit there and do nothing. I'm saying that's a great goal to get to, as long as inside that cow's mind he doesn't feel it. And like I said, shoot a cow, and the cow doesn't move. It doesn't even stop chewing. It doesn't register what's happening. And that's probably a pretty good fucking life and shit there to live like that. Fucking look at Joe Biden. He's always smiling, right? Because fucking it's because he's rich. He was smiling long before that. It's because he's a Joe. He's one of them. He's one of the Middle Eastern invaders and shit. That's why they wait till they're all old. That's why they all used to wear white wigs and shit, because they're trying to hide who they really are. Fucking chop off their fucking Einstein mop and put on a wig so they can fit in with people they just raped and invaded. That's another reason for them all to be wearing hats, too, so they can infiltrate. But their people go bald real early, so that's another thing, too. I imagine being stressed out about wondering if the world's ever going to catch on to what I'm up to 24/7 would have fucked me up early, too. Seems to be stress is the main thing there. So, fucking. Anyways, if anyone gets the answer, I don't know what to do. I've researched this stuff in the past and can't find too much stuff on it. But and I've tried certain things that people talk about, and I don't necessarily feel fucking like we progress much. It's just the feeling of being here. It's if anything, it's almost like I'm more aware, but it causes a lot more fucking. I don't act like a cow. Oh, there must be something wrong with me. I don't like homo pedophile from the Middle East living in my country. Oh. Oh, I don't like them talking to me. I don't like them forcing me to date them. There's something wrong with me. So I need them to fry me with drugs. And I win awards from their president, and they need to fry me with drugs. I figured out who they are, and the Bible people who invaded have set it up so I can get some free drugs. Because I've got a mental problem now. Because I've realized that they're fucking terrorists. And no one likes them. And no one wants them around. And they're forcing their way into our land. And this is how they fucking are on all four corners of the fucking globe, but they weren't there 2,000 years ago. So, obviously, those people can help. Like, supposedly, I don't know, man. I'm taking handfuls of these drugs these people give me, and I am still aware of them and shit. Everything else is just, um, everything else happening to me is just like, it's so natural. You know, they're rapists, pedophile, invaders, homos. Um, and it's like, well, what do you do with something like that? Well, what do you do when that's all there is? Fucking, that's all there's ever been. Well, you literally in like imagine yourself in a giant prison, and you've always been in it, and that's all that's in there with you, and you're locked in there, and that's Earth. You're locked in by the atmosphere and space and fucking so. I think that these are good things. Hopefully we can do it. It feels like we made progress and shit. But obviously we did when we were little because once we got out of school, I don't know if we can go back and do all that. I had to look up what an adverb was the other day just to be sure. Fucking so, hey, we've gotten rid of some of this trash. Um, fucking, anyways, so I'm sure this will get out to no one. Everyone I've ever met, fucking, almost. Females, I don't know if I include them when I'm talking about people, but they might understand. They might actually be smart enough to understand this and be acting like cattle in order to remain in the positions they're in of control of every cock on the planet. And so, even them, I don't necessarily think I'm not going to let my guard down on that because I've seen a little too many factoids and I've seen other people wrote it before I even fucking seen any of this shit and put it all together. So, um, obviously, that's part of the Bible plan, cuck plan, global cuck domination, fucking. So, yeah, I don't know. People I would consider necessarily on that level. No one's ever spoke to me about it. So those ones who are acting stupid and laying back they're aware. They're aware. I don't know what it's like not to have a brain. So maybe there are robots or something that can't function and can't think. But I would think you'd be able to see this shit pretty fast. And anyways, dealing with it, dealing with the problem. Obviously, there's two ways out of Earth. You can be a sucker, and you can join them. You too can be a global terrorist and repeat the words they say to enslave other people for them. But me personally, I'm not. I was on board with that because it stopped the whining in the past, and I was a little bit deceived, but not really by that stuff. Not so much that, but obviously that's part of it. Just if you don't like the Pope in Rome, well, there's this other guy who's not the Pope across the street, and this other city, etc. There's always something different, isn't there? Fucking, there's always a good person if the member of the organization or group you've met is bad, there's always the myth of a good one and shit, be it true or a myth. So, I think with that shit out of the way, um, you could probably clearly see. Some people probably like this because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I understand why rapists like raping people, fucking because that's something they do, something they want. Fucking why? Why is Donald Trump bombing Iran? Well, explosions are cool. Fucking right. Probably a lot more reasons to it than what they'd like to pass on. But that's what he does, right? That's what he does. Like it's what a lot of people want to be. They want to grow. He's literally the president of one of the largest countries on the planet. So a lot of people are like, yeah, that's cool. Fucking. And so I don't understand what that part's like, but man, I suppose anyone else has been bred out and killed by now. Isn't that what they've done? Isn't that why America was one of the few places in the world completely emptied out? Because there was one of the few people in the world who stood up and said no to them. Everyone else looks like they're still around and shit. But there's just this one nation on the planet. I heard stories of some other group of people that there might be a couple groups that don't exist anymore, but you can see the rest of them, like the Abos over there in Australia, right? That's still just like a minor thing because it's a small piece of land, and when it comes to the other bigger areas, you can see distinct people in those areas and shit. Whereas North America, you cannot see distinct people in those areas because they were disposed of and shit, and they got it easy. That's easy when when that shit happens because they would keep them alive. They'd be like the other people, and they'd be forced to worship them and be in their everything. I don't know the exact workings of it, but like they got it easy. They're gone. They aren't hanging out here anymore. They don't. They were the last group, so every other group would have been structured and dealt with it already and shit. You can see that that's written like they're excavating burial sites and shit. So, anyways, it seems to be that this thing is going to be a real key to getting out of here. I don't know. Like, see, the problem is there can be a line of benefits there where you could still end up being capable. It's like cutting off your legs. Like you're actually doing worse if you go that far, right? Like because you moving around is a real problem if you have a problem with anything going on. You moving around is definitely a problem. So that's not cool. I can't just, chainsaw my legs off and shit. Then I'm gonna be experiencing it even more and shit. Then you go live in the hospital and shit. Fucking with your breathing machine and your life support for as long as they can. And then that benefits them because they've taken money from other people to do that. So you're still, even at that point in time, even if you end up a vegetable, you're still benefiting. You're still going to be working for them. Obviously, there's the way out and shit. Fucking, I don't know how real it is. I've seen lots of fake stuff and I've seen lots of real stuff. And I've felt a few real things, but so I won't. I don't know about that. I don't have any. Anyways, That discussion isn't for other people. That's my personal life and things we don't talk about because it's pointless. But anyway, so I think that'd put an end to most of their shit too. They'd lose all their shit. Fucking right, they're developing robots, but they wouldn't have got that far without other people building robots for them and shit. And I don't think they'll be able to maintain the mental capacity to work on robots themselves. If they even have it, and they're not just hiring people to do. But still, if it's just robots, they chose to get rid of everyone, then, like the Native Americans, you're not going to have to worry about it anymore. Anyways, you'll be off in heaven. Oh my God. It better not be. Fucking. That would suck. Imagine having to die and go see all those people again. I was like, I just killed myself to get away from you. What the fuck are you doing here? Fucking, I've been sitting around. I celebrated on my last day because I was like, woo, we're done with this place. There you are. You're still around. What the fuck? The fuck type of shit is that? Yeah, obviously that comes from people talking about Santa Claus, and every word they say it, the reverse is the truth. So you should just instantly write that off. But you got to talk about it because they're so busy raping it into you and drugging it into you since you're a kid that it's one of the 7 things these model numbers or species or whatever it is outside talk about. It's one of their 7 dialogues. So fucking whatever you gotta say, you gotta say it because you can't say anything else because it's illegal, because the LGBT crew fucking made it illegal to say real words instead of their opposites and shit. Fucking that's how the mind games work, is you make it illegal to say, hey, these are invaders. Get them off my land. And then they're like, oh, no, we're not. We're here to spread the good word of the Middle Eastern gods. Fucking. Seems like, if anyone was really fucking interested in it, it wasn't already cattle level fucking, I would have heard of this somewhere before. But I don't know. It did take a while to put it together. But there's little things missing, like people's personalities. You can tell whether they like it or they don't. Some people like to whine, so you can't listen to their words. You've got to see what they do. Like, if I say I don't want to drink motor oil, but I still drink motor oil every day, what does that tell you? It tells you I'm saying that for some reason. Oh, this motor oil's killing me and shit. Fucking, I gotta stop drinking it. Fucking, it tastes nasty. It's like, well, now why are we saying those words if we're not stopping it? Makes no sense. There's no one out there saying stop the madness, put down the motor oil and go to rehab. No one's saying that. So there's no reason to be like, oh, I'm tired of drinking motor oil. It seems like dialogue. Some people are, I don't know, some people I know are using dialogue to to work their way into your emotions so they can rape your kids or something. Rape you as a kid. Fucking lots of people doing that apparently, right? There's all these relationships that happen on the planet and different ones that can go different ways. And I only know one person who had what looked like a stable relationship on the outside. I only know one person. So obviously there's people using emotions somewhere there to, and whining. 50% of those people use a whining emote to garner sympathy. That's narcissism. No, hold on. Such stupid words. They're whining for attention, right? That's what they used to call it. Then they had to try to hide it. Fucking to use it as a weapon. Fucking. So now it's some mental condition, right? As if you're ever going to be able to find out. I'm sure they haven't even labeled it. The most useful tools are not a mental issue, you know. A mental issue is people who don't see flying invisible glowing in the dark reindeer. People do see flying glowing in the dark invisible reindeer. Create places to put people who supposedly do see them, but they don't use them for that purpose. They run them. They don't. They fall apart if they lock themselves in their rooms and their cells and drug their cells. They wouldn't be there anymore. Fucking. So, seems to be the only way we're going to get rid of this place is to get rid of the flesh shell trapping us in here with the brain. And we might be able to turn it into a fun game, right? Like I hung out with some kids. I raised some kids. One of them was considered different. You know, I don't know what they called him, but I had fun with them and shit. Fucking, if they were my actual kids, then I would have had their loyalty and we could have done a lot more fun things. We could have been like, you know, Hitler and Himmler and Goebbels, just walking around gassing motherfuckers and shit. Be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then they'd be like, yeah, we don't know either what we're doing. You know, we could have taken that to a new level, but they weren't my actual kids, so they had no loyalty to me in comparison to others. So I didn't get to, but I could have. You know, we would have had some fun fucking if they were actually my kids and they were gonna, you know, cattle mentally. Fucking or it's a proper term for someone who's at that level but doesn't act like cattle and shit. Fucking because they don't really act like cattle. So I don't know what's the term. Just they call them all sorts of names and shit. And then all I see sometimes is people smart enough not to do what these other idiots are saying. And they're like, they got a problem. They're mentally retarded. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're real retarded. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, look where they want to play football. So I'm going to go play football with them. You have fun talking to yourself over here. Shit. Fucking. But it never looks dull. They never look depressed, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, cows do. I don't think cows have emotions, though. When they get shot and they don't move, I don't think they have a working nervous system, even. So, there's probably just a couple wires there to move the legs. I don't know. Fucking. But they they lack emotions if getting shot doesn't even make them flinch. Fucking. So, anyways, yeah, I think I'm wasting time by talking. I should probably get back to work and shit. Fucking seems to be it's a thin line. Fucking getting something done and getting it done right. And it's a big cost you're going to pay, but you're going to pay that cost either way. Now, it could be worse, like I said. You lose your legs, you lose the ability to walk away from someone trying to rape you. And that's not good. So, you can't, you lose your ability to recall what someone just did to you, but you still retain the ability to do that for them, get on your knees for them, then you might still retain the ability to process that. And then that could be a failure. That will be a failure, right? That would be like if a cow had feelings and it just sits there and chews grass because it allows itself to be a slave until it gets ground up for meat. If a cow had a brain and some feelings, then it'd be in a bad predicament. But it doesn't seem to have a brain, and it doesn't seem to have feelings. So I don't think it's in that predicament. But a person, you end up in that predicament, and that could be real bad. Shit, fucking. Anyway, so yeah, wow, that was sick. Last time I went to the gym, why even go to a gym if they got shit like that on the TV? What a fake gym, fucking fuckers. Ah, man, how fake and set up is this world? Man, they've had thousands and thousands of years. I wonder if they've colonized other planets before and shit. Because how much of this shit do you think is like a rollout? How much of this music, when bands make one fucking good CD and they can never play music like that ever again, it's like, is that like pre recorded like thousands of years ago and just used to like sell or something? And then, but they're just rolling out slop after that. Like a pre-recorded soundtrack or some shit. Fucking something's going on where they can create music and never create that again. And it makes me think that it might be like pre-recorded soundtrack and shit. Fucking. But we do know they've got thousands of years of colonizing, invading, and enslaving. How long ago did they invent that word? How long ago did they change the word enslaving and raping everyone and taking everything from you to colonizing to make it sound cute and cool? Did they actually invent that like 2,000 years ago, or is that just a plan, a rollout? Because think of how intricate most of this shit is. Like that whole handbook for the enslaved and the spawns of it and shit. Fucking, it's actually pretty intricate how it's tied in. It's very simple shit, but it's real intricate how it's not intricate. It's real simple, but it's like dialed in. It's dialed in. The propaganda is real dialed in and shit. It's like they've had experience 20 billion years ago enslaving planets and shit. Fucking. If it were like a game or a visual novel, then you can tell it's not the first time someone's been here, because there's a lot of little kinks in it that are mostly ironed out. Things are there on purpose, I think, for some reason. But a lot of that shit's real ironed out. Like changing every word to something else. Like, did they just invent that 6,000 years ago and change rape, invade, uh, and enslaved to colonizing? Did they just invent that like 6,000, 2,000 years ago? You know, that's a huge manual for. I guess it wouldn't take me that long, right? If you told me you want me, I do this stuff all the time, right? Because you gotta say certain words and shit. You can't just like you gotta be like I gotta go to heaven, you know, because you can't say you want to die because you know. So you come up with that real fast, right? They already provide it with you, and they already provide it for you. Actually, fucking. Um, But you can come up with that in a few seconds. But I guess you got to be a fucking fictional writer to invent dinosaurs and flying reindeer. But that's the only thing you really need. And then I can go with, like, what's the opposite of sticky? You know, let's make up a word. Badoo. And then, so we say the word Badu means something is not sticky. And then, so you want to people to get trapped in a giant fly trap, La Brea tar pits, you'd say it's Badu. You gotta go into it. It's Badu. It's good for you. And then people be like, no, it's not. It's sticky. And they're like, no, it's Badu. It's the opposite of sticky. You know, see how easy that is. So I could probably invent. Ugh. It's not even 100 words, right? Like we've condensed 3 at a time: raper, invader, thief. We've condensed so many into one word: racial supremacist, species supremacist, raper, invader, terrorist, yada yada yada, into one word: colonizer. We just confounded. So I'm just like, wow, we just invented one word here in like 30 seconds. So it, you know, it doesn't necessarily take a few thousand years of research and study to come up with unique, invented opposite words. And come up, all right now. Let's think of an opposite word of evil. Badat. Badat. Oh, there we go. And then hookah. That's the opposite of pedophile. I'm a hookah badat. Everyone in my crew is hookah badat. There we go. Now condense it all into one word. Fuck, that's the only thing that's taking time here. We could rewrite the entire English language into like 6, 7 words here, probably by the end of the day. I'm, you know, a bit of a writer, so maybe I'm faster than others, but it couldn't be too long it takes to invent opposite words, you know, or invent a little story to protect some. That takes a little bit longer, you know. Oh, a Bush was talking to me and he said they rape all the kids because for the people who are burning bushes. You know, wow. Like, let's try to come up with one of those right now, right? So let's say I want to run you over with my car. Well, that's illegal, right? So what happens is my dresser drawer knob started talking to me, and they said, the dresser drawer knob said, "Oh, I've created everything on this planet, and what I'm doing now is I'm saying, as long as you do to my name, and you can go run over people with your car." So the great dresser drawer knob, which was also, it's wet, the wet dresser drawer knob. It wasn't just any bush or doorknob. It was wet. It was wet. Fucking. So you invent that. There we go. See how easy that is? Writing a book really takes a shorter time than it does to actually write the fucking book. Writing takes a long fucking time. Come up with the ideas way faster than to write. You can write a book in a day or two, but you can come up with the shit to fill a book in like 15 minutes. But anyways, yeah, see, we definitely should be taking the ability to do that the from this fucking gene pool and shit. That's another thing too. Is I think we should take it away. The last few people who can fucking think and shit, they it's gonna get real bad. And I don't think it's kind of that point where you're a vegetable and you can't really do anything about it. You don't even know you're a vegetable. There is that, but I say fucking take the ability out of the gene pool to do that stuff away. Fucking, if people are gonna say my fucking wet dresser drawer knob told me I can go run over people's cars, well, shit. I mean, that's a bad example because I'm gonna go join your group. Let's say the wet dresser drawer knob told me for him I need to go slap some old person in the mouth or some shit, right? And I don't really want to go slapping old people in the mouth, so that's less appealing to me. So I'm not going to join that one. Yeah, as they said, there's a religion for everyone. So I get this wet dresser drawer knob who talks says I can drive over people in my vehicle, fucking, and that's the one true wet doorknob. The other dude's lying, smacking old people. What the type of pervert does that shit? Fucking type of sicko does that. Anyway, so yep, I say take it from him. There's not much left. I'm gonna assume. Fucking And the good thing is too, you take that out of the gene pool, and it looks like you'll strip from the gene pool anyone who doesn't like it. And then there'd be like, what, world peace and harmony if Donald Trump strips everyone in the Middle East who doesn't like giving him everything from the planet, then there's going to be world peace, right? Or is he just bombing people because he likes explosions? I mean, there is that. I mean, I'm a man and I understand how giddy I get about stuff like that if I see it, like we go blow up a building over here and the construction demolition crew. That's the new best day ever. So maybe he's just doing it for that, but I think he's doing it because some people don't like him and he wants to force everyone on the world to like him. And there's these people who are obsessed with getting you to like them, and they got no friends. No one wants to be their friend. Sometimes, obviously, Donald Trump could just pay for friends, but I think he tried to do that with his wife, and it looks like he doesn't pay her, or maybe that's why she's mad. Maybe he doesn't pay her, and he just keeps her there and shit. Could be. She thought she was going to get a payment for that and didn't get it. Fucking, I don't see why. Unless he's a cuck too, I don't see why he would be paying for someone. He already got rid of the three before. You can tell who's not a cuck when they've gotten rid of someone and shit. And, like Elon Musk and Trump, they got 4 wives. Well, they're not cucked, right? They got 4 wives and 2 kids with each, and they never talk to him. They never go around him. They got the bitches cucked and shit. Fucking. But, hell. Anyway, so obviously not contributing to the gene pool is just as relevant too to pulling out these flaws in the system. You know, these flawed beings who don't fucking use opposite words and shit to do the opposite, to do good things, right? Opposite words make what you're doing good. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like I'm wasting time here. Fucking, this is going nowhere. You got a planet of 8 billion people. They said they said on TV they're all in it together. No one ever said they weren't. They sent one person, definitely looked like a Hollywood actor, showed up at a store I was at. Fucking looked like one of the Joe clones. Actually, now that I think of it, that would be. I don't remember his face exactly, but he looked a lot like the seventh Joe clone. Then, fucking. Um, oh yeah, there was that one person in my life said some shit about that too. So there's like those two people, but I traveled and I went real far, and so I went to a lot of places, lots and lots of places and shit. And it was like the only thing there was to do, and during that year was to go inside a store because that's all that was open. And so it was either go to the store, or go climb a mountain and shit. And you can't. You gotta at least get your gear from the store to climb the mountain and shit. Get some food to take with you or some shit. It's hard to climb mountains without nutrition and shit. Fucking. So, anyways, yeah, I say, you know, that's like, it's like, that's real goals. Fucking, I don't see this other shit being honest. I see them putting people on TV saying you're gonna go places, and then there are people on TV getting shot for stealing fucking what they're selling from some other people, and um, you know, it looks like when you got one family who owns everything on the planet, and you're not actually going to get in there with them. Yeah, I think that's how it works. You know, why isn't the leader of Iran married to Donald Trump's children, and instead of why don't they just get married instead of bombing Iran? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They're not going to make the Ayatollah isn't making the next hit rap album out of Hollywood, right? The Ayatollah isn't going to be starring in a Hollywood film anytime soon. Although they do look a lot alike. Maybe the veil behind that, behind why they all read from the same book but are bombing the people in those nations. Maybe that veil will get lifted at some point. You know, consolidating the power. Once they got enough robots and shit on the planet, it's superior to human flesh. I already think they do. I already think it's out there. Fucking so might have been a long time ago that happened. Fucking so maybe they aren't. But you can see with them designing robots and computers, one of the first thing they do is make them stupid, give them emotions. Like they're supposedly going to space, but your Windows drivers don't work sometimes. It's like you literally can't even open my WordPad so I can write down space isn't real on a plain white piece of paper. Fucking, but you're going to space with the same damn computer. Fucking really? I mean, that's called people failed math and shit. Fucking And although they don't even need to make up space shit if people aren't smart enough to figure out the first space heaven wasn't real and shit. So there you go. Saves them time and money too. Consolidates the winners and shit. Fucking but it doesn't look like they're obviously if they're stealing music from other people and shit, then they're not trying to replace people with robots, especially if they've already got robots out there. Organic clones, whatever they'll hide behind. Fucking but yeah, fucking well, what do you do if you're on a planet fucking full of robot clones and they're just milking the living and shit? You only got a couple options, and one ain't to join in and shit. And obviously, that one dude, he was joining in, he was making music, and then he said that they were stealing his music. And if that were true, well, it's in line with some stuff I've seen and shit. And well, look what he got for joining in. He got pissed off when he figured out that he wasn't actually going to get the join. Fucking, that's the real answer there is why? That's the real thing that needs answered. Why would someone join in if they're just being tricked into it? You know, why does a cattle fucking go eat grass just so it can be chopped up and fed to humans or dogs? You know, why does a cow eat grass just so it can be chopped up and turned into a steak? What's wrong with the cow? The cow has an issue there. It has a mental issue, and yes, indeed, you have been around cows. I would label that out of all the animals as an animal with a mental issue because it's very unresponsive. It's a very unresponsive animal, and it looks like a Chuck E. Cheese almost. The Chuck E. Cheese animatronic shit is like when the humans like go and they do the jerk, like especially when it's starting an event and they jerk into motion and then it goes into a flow. Fucking, but it definitely seems like some animatronic shit there. Like cows are so slow you wouldn't notice a jerk because they don't have jerky motions. So you wouldn't notice if they were animatronics and shit. Because every action of theirs is a startup of an animatronic. At least from what I've gathered. Not a lot of playing with them, but a little bit, enough on a farm to be like, wow, this animal's a little bit different than the others. It just sits there and chews grass really slowly, like 20 blades of grass. 20 blades of grass. You know, a cow's like 2-3 times the size of a human, and it's chewing on like a mouthful of cud, like this size. And it's like 2-3 times my size, 5-6 times my size. Fucking. And it chews on that for like, I don't know, man. I didn't watch it long enough to see how long it takes it to swallow, but it doesn't, it's not like, yeah, 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 yeah. It's not moving it. It's just like, the one cow I seen, it was just like staring, like it was nothing inside of it. It was like at the edge of the fence, and it was just chewing on it. Like, I mean, it's like, wow, it's just chewing on grass. How long do they live like 2, 3 years or something. I don't know, something like that. 2 to 8 years. 16 max is for most animals, right? It's pretty long lifespan for many animals. Um, so you see that, I was like, what the fuck's going on there? And it's like, what's going on? You know right away, nothing is going on inside that motherfucker's head. But it looks like, I don't know, maybe it's just super fucking depressed. But I mean, they're not even trying to play with each other and stuff. So I don't think that's what it is. I think it's like really, like the first animal above a rock or something. Very, very weird to see that animal versus the other animals and shit. Fucking deers almost look the same, but they prance and shit, so they're a little bit faster and shit. But up close, like a deer is sometimes kind of weird. Like it almost doesn't notice you're there, but if it's scared of humans, if it's not used to humans, it's gonna take off. If a bird flies through the leaves and it hears the sound or something. Anyways, so this is all we've been working on for a while, and I get the idea that might have been what other people have been working on too. I get the idea. This has been a group project I wasn't even involved in for a while. Fucking, it was definitely a whole rich history, just like the history of colonization and history of Earth. There's a whole rich history to how these things come forth. Alcohol gets made illegal and taxed, and then everything else gets illegal and taxed. And that's supposedly why USA fought a war. That was their cover story, was uh, they were taxed for their caffeine. And they're like, nope, you ain't taxing none of that. You ain't, because we all use our caffeine. You ain't taxing it. That's why they want to tax it, because everyone uses it. That's why they have to want to control it, because they probably thought, because it was a drug, they probably thought they could make the cow dumb by taking the stimulant away from it. That's some fucking, that's some smart thinking, but it's real. If you got a worker on cocaine and meth and shit, and he comes off of that, he's not doing any work anymore. Fucking is not doing all that stuff. And caffeine's right there with Coke. You just drink a pot of it, you'll get about the same effect and shit. Fucking. Anyways, maybe not the same as some of the other stems, but yeah. So you see all that shit happening, and you see that fucking looks like it's being done in the humans. Definitely. I mean, it's not an accident. They don't. I don't think they're making as many accidents as they like to say. Right? Creating reverse words isn't an accident. That takes some long, diligent thought to create systems of reverse words, and then have to create language to promote the reverse words. Because without them, there would be no way to be like, that ain't happening. That ain't really what's happening. Fucking, you'd have to invent, at least that ain't really what's happening. And take it a step further and call it something else. And all of a sudden it's sanctified. It's sanctified. And what is it? Sanctions is also a military term. So they didn't go far out of their way for that one. Fucking, they place a sanction on someone by limiting it. And then they use sanctify to pull from. But then along with sanctify, they use another limiting, you can't say that it's not sanctified, so they still use that, and obviously it's involved in war because that's the only wars that have ever happened on the planet that I can read about. Oh yeah, that was this one. Yeah, this coffee. Them coffee people. They killed off the Native Americans because they tried to tax their coffee. Yeah, yeah. And I remember when the Germans tried to kill them too. Yeah, I remember that. Never seen it in my life. Never seen it. I seen them doing it, but I never seen it being done to them. So, whew, I was like the boy who cried wolf and shit. Fucking valuable story if anything mattered, but then it doesn't matter. You know the story, and now the joke's on you because you know the story, but there's nothing you're gonna do about it. Fucking. Then the joke becomes on you because you bought their book, you gave money for that book, and they told you it was a valuable lesson and shit. And the real lesson is the boy who cried fucking reverse Uno and shit on the vocabulary. So it's just like the real lesson is that if the boy just fucking what if the boy was the wolf and the wolf killed everyone in town? They didn't believe him. And how long he was like, oh, there's this wolf. It's a slippery slope to me meeting the wolf and the wolf killing everyone in this town. And they're like, there's no wolf. And he's like, hey, there's a wolf. And it wants to kill it's trying to kill people. And they're like, there is no wolf. Calm down. You're making stuff up. And then he goes and fucking puts on a wolf mask and kills everyone in town. And it's the true story of the boy who cried wolf, I think. I don't know if I've heard of scenarios before, but I can't say for sure I've ever heard the fairy tale version of the boy who cried wolf in real life. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there's a famous figure, maybe Donald Trump or something like that, the boy who cried wolf. He's like, oh, there's a wolf. There's a wolf. It's like the colonizer who cried native. That's a different story. He's not like, oh, look, there's a big evil wolf, and then the wolf kills him and shit. Fucking, I don't think I've ever seen that in, I've never seen it because I can't prove that was happening and shit. So I've never seen that actual story. But the real story I see is boy cries wolf, and then boy has the wolf mask on. He puts a wolf mask on and he kills everyone in the town and shit. And he was just like, he was telling you it's a slippery slope to letting these wolves in the village and shit. We should do something about it. But then that story ends with the boy, the wolf man. Wolfman told him that as a joke to laugh at them and poke fun at them because there's nothing there's going to be able to do. It's a wolfman. Fucking, he was just telling them like, oh yeah, all these people, this wolf thing's gonna fuck you guys up. You guys gotta stop it, man. I swear. If you don't stop it, bad things are gonna happen. And he's like, I told you bad things were gonna fucking happen. I've seen that, on a global scale, TV related type people and shit. I've definitely seen that one happen. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen that in my real life. Um, People telling me all about one specific person they hate, and they're trying to keep you away from. You know, the wolf who cried wolf. Fucking, that's the real story. The other thing's a fairy tale. Fucking, the boy in the little red wagons, the little red wagons in the castle. Um, that's a story. That's a story. That's a legit thing. I've seen that happen before. Where someone doesn't realize they're losing their valuables and shit, but they're definitely making sure that they ain't losing their valuables. Um, the moral of that story is doing things in plain sight. Well, it works and shit. You don't even know if you've never done it, and most people probably have, right? But it works. Like, remember the first time you did something and it just worked, and you're like, wow, wow, I can't believe that just happened. Fucking. Anyway, so yeah, this is weird being trapped here and shit. Just trying to find ways to erase it. Not only that, preparing, like, because what if you do end up back here in cyber war land with the mech suits and Gundam battles and shit? That'd actually be cool. Fucking. Um, but if you're part of it, right? If you're part of it, if you get a mech suit, I guess sometimes you don't want to be part of the people offering you mech suits and trying to force you into mech suits. Fucking, I think, I think escaping this thing is probably the only real goal here. I don't see what other people are. Well, I do kind of see what some are getting out of it. Fucking. So. Anyways, wow, it's a crazy, crazy world going into. It's been like 6,000 years of war and invasion and stuff, and now that they've got every place invaded, they have to. It has to escalate, and it always escalates, right? You go from one form of torture to another, to another, to another. And they've been working on this forever, right? 1984 was like their wet dream back in Middle Earth, fucking 6,000 years ago. It was like it's just a repeat of their novels and shit. It's the reverse language and shit, ain't it? And it's the same thing, but fucking. It's the same exact thing thousands of years later. It's still the same exact thing. There's no point to being here and shit. There's no point. You gotta realize how trashy these breeders are if they're having kids just to have slaves for themselves. There isn't a real legit reason to be like, oh, 1984 is real great. Reverse world is great. Well, let's have some kids so they can share the love. Because it's a reverse word. So it's like, obviously, we're going to share the love. And what does that mean on Earth in reverse world? Oh, it means they're going to love that child. It means Jeffrey Epstein's going to be the richest, most famous person on the planet. And guess who happens to be the most famous person on the planet? Yeah, it's Jeffrey Epstein. Fucking reverse world. It's reverse world. Fucking everything they do and say. You need to go get. You're going to have a good life if you go get yourself a breathing machine so you can climb mountains and hire someone to carry it up the mountain with you. Reverse world. Oh, it's for your health. Reverse world. Fucking. I get the idea. You take away people's ability to see that the reverse is there, and it probably hamper them just as much as doing something about it. Fucking, at least to the point where you never have to worry about it again. You know, you're having kids, and you're like, it's reverse world. Fucking, you know, you can't even figure it out. Like, it's not reverse world. Let's have some kids and teach them it's not reverse world. You know, if you can get to that cow state, that cow doesn't. It doesn't care. He's out there eating grass, so he can be taken to the slaughterhouse and eaten for dinner. He doesn't care. It doesn't have a care in the world there. It has no emotions. There's no feelings on the matter. He doesn't have a dog in the fight. There's no dog in him. It's just it's like an animatronic or something. Very of all the things, you know, there's moss and trees, and they just kind of sit there and grow slowly, and then there's cows right above that. If we want to get above the fungus and the trees, there's cows. And the cow can't figure out, you know, he's eating those trees, and he doesn't even. I don't think it can figure out, but it doesn't care. It clearly doesn't care that something's about to eat it, like it's a tree, like it's some grass. It doesn't care at all. It doesn't have any emotions toward it. You know, how could it possibly have a bad fucking life and shit? It can't figure out that it has no life. It's fucking. If you can get there, that's really the only way out of this place besides getting out of this place. Fucking. But it might cause some fun chaos too, right? I was thinking, you know, if you can get to the point where, you know, like some of these kids, special needs kids I've met, like they just go around and they throw stuff across the room and shit. You know, they pick up the chair in school and throw it across the room, and it's like, well, he doesn't care. He's not vested in reverse world and shit. He's not going to feel bad and shit. You know, oh my God, I threw a chair. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him. Getting into a state like that seems like nirvana and shit. Fucking. And you'd definitely be making some music like Nirvana if you get to that state too. Fucking. Definitely be rolling out that 4/4 BPM real fast. But they don't care. Their people never care. They don't play reverse. They Uno reverse the Uno reverse card. You throw out that reverse card, and they throw out their reverse card. Turns out to be they got a whole handful of reverse. All they got is reverse cards. It's just going to keep going. They're going to have to keep drawing and getting something new. And every time you do something, they're going to be out of cards. They can just throw all their cards down. You can just reverse it, reverse it, reverse it. They practically won the game. When I've been around some of these groups, I've been around lots of different people, and when I've been around some of them, I'm amazed by some of the shit. And obviously, some of the other people, reverse people, are like, they're like, no, don't do that, calm down and shit. And I'm over there like, I'm about to start picking up chairs and throwing them across the room myself. Like, I think you got it figured out, bro. It's like, no, don't throw the chair. And there's like, reverse card, whoosh, do throw the chair. The wet dresser knob said throw the chair. Reversey. You throw you go to pick up the chair. Like, no, don't throw it. And they're like, no, reverse card. I'm throwing it. And they're like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, oh, the wet dresser knob said so. Said it's sanctified. And they're like, oh, we only had one reverse card. Damn it, we're out of reverse cards. We had two. And they're like, we're gonna have to make up a new reverse card. Fucking throw the reverse card down on their house and shit. I've always thought that the fucked up thing is there's this dude that everyone's known since kids who is not considered special needs, and people just called him a burnout, right? I didn't, but people's like, oh, John, he's burnt out because he's all like happy hippie all the time. I shouldn't have said his name. My name's Sean. I know many Johns. Which one of us am I talking about? Fucking anyways, so dude was like happy all the fucking time and shit. He was just, they were like, go to school, and he was like, reverse card, don't go to school. And they were like, don't smoke the marijuana. He's like, reverse card, smoke the marijuana. And they're like, oh, you gotta take life seriously. And he's like, reverse card, not taking it seriously. And then last thing I heard, he's like running businesses and shit. Wow. Like, actually, in my circle, that's not, I'm not surprised by that, but everyone else probably is, because everyone else is like, oh, he's a burnout, he's stupid. And I'm like, I don't know if he's stupid. I don't know what this burnout thing is, but it's like, apparently it's something where from using marijuana, you might end up in this state of nirvana or something where like your brain doesn't work too well. And that's like, that seems to be where like the happiness comes from. Like that's the only reason I smoke anymore, because I don't like the anxiety and shit. But it's like if I need to forget some shit, I hit that up, and it'll randomly take whatever it wants out of my head. It might not work on what I want it to, but it works, right? It works in that. I might forget how to walk and stumble a couple times and realize I gotta slow down, and then I might still be remembering. See, this is where the slippery slope, thin line comes in doing this, because I might stumble when I'm walking, and I've been walking for a long time now, and don't stumble. But I also might forget about reverse card land, and that can be beneficial there. See, so like it all sounds like it, because they're telling you, the reverse card, you're like, I think this sounds feasible. I think this sounds beneficial. And they're like, no, don't do it. And then what happens? You're like, reverse card, and then you forget it. But you might end up still retaining what you were trying to forget. And that could be a problem. That's where cutting your legs and your arms off become a problem, because you're still going to be in there. But I say, hey, fucking do it. And I don't see how. I bet you most people, the people I know who I can tell you, the one person I know on the outside who looks like they might have some sort of normal life, they never knew anything else. So they might not know that something else exists. And I don't know. I think I would get to, I think just going outside and participating would clue you in real fast that you're not in control of your own life or anything around you. And in fact, it's reverse card. It's you got the whole globe involved with controlling each person above their personal space and values. Everyone works. Not everyone, half people will be like, yeah, that person needed hit in the mouth, and the other half will be like, no, they didn't. But half of 8 billion is 4 billion, so you still got 8 billion on each side against each person's move. If you want to just simplify it real fast like that. Anyways, so it's time to get back to work on this shit. It feels so hopeful Sunday, but I don't think everyone has this problem of fucking putting it all together and shit. And like, I always wonder if people weren't smarter who didn't like waste their time in school and shit. Because that was dumb. That was dumb on my half to fill out tests and read 20 books a week and do homework. I just didn't want my ass beat, and I would have got my fucking face smashed in and shit if I didn't do that stuff. So that's all there was. Fucking um, again, I probably wouldn't have done it myself. Fucking. But I don't know if that contributed to anything because I already knew it. I was filling out the fucking test and not paying attention in school. So whatever that is, but it's a waste. It's like a hobble. Oh, it's like, oh shit, I can see all this stuff, and it's not a good thing. Fucking, it's like the cow. Like, what would you do with the cow if the cow was smart enough to fucking, if the cow was a living being that understood things, and you would have to build like giant steel gates to keep the cows in, and you'd probably have to chop up a lot of them out in the middle of the grass because they just wouldn't, even getting hit with the cattle prod, they wouldn't run into the slaughterhouse. They get hit with the cattle prod and they run away. They're going to die either way. When you're given those options, if you're about to be chopped up and served as deli meat, or get hit with the cattle prod, what is your choice going to be there, huh? It's going to be get hit with the cattle prod. You're going to have to kill me with the cattle prod, aren't you? You're going to have to hit me with the cattle prod. Over and over and over and over and over and over. I think most people would do that, right? Because look, you have two options right there as a giant meat slicer, and your goal, your purpose in life is to be sliced up and served as deli meat. What are your at what point in time are you going to be like, oh, I'm tired? It's going to be the same point where you're like, well, the only answer here is letting them slice me up. Once you get tired of getting hit with that cattle prod 7 billion times, I'm sure it won't take too many years. It'll probably take about 3 days tops for most people to getting shocked repeatedly to realize, like, you know what, that I'll make delicious fucking meat. You guys put a premium on me after you chop me up, because because I did, I worked real hard on this and ate all the grass I could, mooed all I could, and we're gonna just put a premium on me. Well, let's get this over with. It probably wouldn't take 3 days. It'd probably take like 15 minutes. I mean, if you grow up in the cattle pen and the giant steel erected building that the cattle are stuck in, and everyone knows no one escapes and everyone dies when they say it's time to go. There's not going to be anyone who's like, you know what? It'd be a really good idea if we just make them chase us and hit us with the cattle prod a few times, and then shoot us with a tranquilizer so they can drag us in there and chop us up. Actually, that right there is promising, right? Get hit with the fucking. Probably doesn't feel very good being chopped up and shit. Fucking. It's hard to tell, right? 5 minutes of pain being ran through a deli slicer versus. Yeah, they'll do it humane. They'll do your head first. They'll chop your head off because there's no meat there. There's no value in your head. So they'll just chop the head off, do it humane, right? Which is it going to be? Are you going to play games with a cattle prod? For what? 5 minutes? 30 minutes? Oh, you're gonna let them hit you with electricity for 2 hours? Oh, 3 days. You're gonna last 5 weeks. You man. After 200 years, the cows would all be in agreement. You know what? That deli slicer is awesome. That's our future. And there is nothing else. We are going to make the best of this while we are out here. But when it is time to go, it is time to go. I would agree with you on that. I wouldn't, it's trapped inside a steel thing, and occasionally watch a bull try to ram. They go foot thick steel to try to break it down. And thousands of years later, the technology to enslave you just gets better and better, and they don't even have to come out and chase you around with the cattle prod. They got a zapper gun, just zaps you with electricity and shit. They'd already have that if cows weren't stupid. Fucking that would be what they did, tranquilizing them and dragging them off, and then the horses would fucking merrily load up the carriage, merrily pull the carriage of tranquilized cows into the fucking slaughterhouse. And the horses just be like, all right, this is a good job we got here. We're fucking pulling these cattle over here to fucking get them chopped up so the humans can eat. This is a good job. You guys are doing good. You guys are looking good over there. Nice hooves, Mary. Your hooves are looking fantastic today. You ready to pull these stupid cows into the deli meat slicer and shit? Fucking. Yeah, John, the other day, John, I had the cattle, the electric rail gun was down, and Farmer Bob had to ride me, and I took him around, and he was zapping the cattle manually with this old electric gun they used to use before they got the rail tasers. It was like a little nightclub that electrocutes him when he touches them, and I took him around, and I let him hit him. And every time I did, I was like, use a stupid cow. Why are you running? Use a stupid cow. This never ends good. Just go on over there and get in line and die. Fucking Animal Farm. Animal Farm. Fucking. And then the dog keeps the horses and the cows and the sheep and everything else from escaping the fucking land. Animal Farm. Animal Farm. Fucking Yup. Wait a minute. That's from a reverse word guy. So if it's from a reverse word guy, what's the reverse of an animal? A plant, probably, right? But human. Human farm. Wait a minute. That was the purpose of the book, wasn't it? Fucking to put on display fucking how he viewed humans, and it was like illegal during that time. You would have been persecuted if you had said humans act that way. You would get thrown in a gulag in Russia, and USA would have thrown you in an intern camp. Same thing, but reverse C. It's not a gulag. It's an intern camp. We're interns, like secretaries. You go in there and you learn, and you're gonna learn all sorts of good stuff, and they're gonna feed you. Oh, it's gonna be so great. They're gonna give you a bed and well, not everyone. You know what? There's no beds. There's a ground, and it's inside a building. Yeah, it's not a gulag. It's not a gulag at all. It's a reversey. It's a camp. It's a camp. Summertime. Summer camp. Fuck, dude. This is fucked up. This shit, like, really is what goes on out here. Like, even in daily conversation I've never had. I wouldn't let them take me to meet Trump. And I met people higher up, and I don't have the documents telling me who hired anyone to come into my life. I think they might be working together because they're the same species and the same bloodlines. But other than that, I've never had those higher up people doing that. Like, who's gonna drag the fucking cow into the slaughterhouse if the cow doesn't go in there and has to get fucking tranquilized? Well, the horses are gonna go do it. Farmer Bob ain't gonna do it. Farmer Bob ain't got to do nothing. He's got the horses. Farmer Bob sells the meat. Farmer Bob eats the meat, pays someone to sell the meat and shit. Fucking amazing shit, dude. Amazing shit on this earth, dude. Just like nothing but reversing. We have them giving us a date for when they might have started it. So they have their date of 6,000, 2,000, depending on which point in time you want to go with. At which point in time. And obviously, I think it was around 2,000 years ago, because the Romans died. They went extinct. And they were never heard from again. Or they played the reversey card and they said, we're not Romans anymore, we're someone else. So we actually have links that the reversey card might have been invented 2,000 years ago. But previous links suggest that the reversey card was a work in progress, especially when we have flying bird men. The president, Donald Trump, he's a half bird. He's a bird man. Yep. Well, that's what people say 6,000 years ago. So I imagine that the purpose for inventing that is because the reversey card, it plays a very vital purpose here. If I tell you that I'm a bird man, I'm a half bird person, and you don't believe it, that means you're calling me a liar. And now if I'm ruling your country, if I'm I'm just a bad person, I'm not going to like the fact that you think I'm a liar. Why is a liar talking in the first place? Because they want something. So, The Birdman could possibly make up stories about birdmen, flying reindeer, giant invisible bunnies. And if you don't agree with Birdman, that he's a Birdman, well, if he's got the ability, he might just chop off your head because you are belligerent. You do not believe everything Birdman says. You are going to be a bad cow. You're going to be a very bad cow. When Donald Trump tells you he's a half bird, you know, then you better listen up. That's some serious shit. And then you teach your children that shit. You teach your children, hey, yeah, he's half bird. Mommy, doesn't look like it. Yeah, well, he's going to kill you if you don't believe every word he says. That does signal that 6,000 years ago the Reversi card was existing, along with some other religious texts other than that religion, which is obviously the same religion. They use them together. So that seems like we have proof to the Reversi card existing 6,000 years ago. And obviously, 2,000 years ago, the Romans played the Reversi card and became Italians. And, oh yeah, and another group there played the Reversi card that you can't name. So, which are probably, obviously, and they came from Egypt, where the Birdmen came from. Oh, it's so hard to link this shit together once you start talking about it, isn't it? So hard. It's almost like if you know 6 words, you know everything on the fucking planet. So, 6,000 years ago, someone invented reverse language. And one of the only reasons that convince someone you're a half bird is to do this fucking thing where everyone just has to be this subhuman bitch to you. And they must agree with every word you say and never question it, right? That's one of the only reasons to invent the idea that I'm a half bird. If I was overall, it's the only thing I can think of. Why would I tell people I'm a half bird? Well, if I'm a leader of a nation and a bunch of slaves, I need to know which of the people don't think I'm their leader and aren't my slaves. And the perfect thing to do is invent bird people and be like, well, you must believe in bird people or else it's going to be your last day alive. And then, so, what's it used for? So I get the idea that Reversi language came from that. Although Reversi people are deciphering the Reversi language, and maybe not everyone on the planet is as dumb as they are. And some people, maybe Egyptians, just thought, oh, that's a person wearing a headdress. But Reversi people who use both those symbols, who are behind all the religions, Reversi people tell me that mentally retarded people think there was a half bird person. Mm-hmm. But we already know it's the same people because they're using the same shit. And they are the Reversi people. And what's their purpose? Well, usually it's to kill people who won't worship them. And so I think we can effortlessly extract the half bird man would have been invented so you get killed if you don't believe everything, the most absurd shit someone says. What happens when you go outside? People approach you about flying reindeer, giant bunnies, invisible people. Okay, yeah. And you're going to get tortured if you don't believe in it. You're going to die and get tortured. Fucking. There you go. And this, whoa, it's the same fucking people. This is exactly who we're talking about. Oh, so there we go. Solid links. Their dialogue today is if you don't believe in half bird gods, that they're going to torture you. Although these days they've changed it to someone else is going to torture you. Who looks exactly like me and my mom and my daughter and my children and my brother and my sister. But they're going to be mind controlled by an invisible goat. Reversey! It's not me, it's Reversey. Oh, wow, bro. Do you see we're 6,000 years past them making up their terrorist bullshit? 6,000 years past that. And we can decipher exactly what was going on 6,000 years ago, not by any sort of shit they've said is fact, but by analyzing their patterns. The cow is standing there doing nothing. It bends its head over every now and then to take a bite of grass. It slowly comes back up as it slowly went down, and it slowly chews the mouthful of grass for 15 minutes. It takes a poop every now and then and a pee. And it's going to get chopped up within 16 years and sold as ground beef. These are why. How do I know that cows are outside doing this right now? How do I know that? What makes me think that cows aren't out there running around, driving down the freeway fast in their Ferraris and getting into causing some wrecks and shit? Why don't I think that's happening? Because they've never done anything else. They are incapable of it. And everything the cow does, I have watched the cow do. And that is all the cow ever does. And probably ever can do. I don't think it has the mental capacity to move beyond that, to be honest. And isn't that odd? See, this is how you study a person or one of their organizations or whatever word they want to reversey card it died behind their institutions, their people, their government. Reversey, it's not the government. It's religion. Reversey. Oh, remember when the bird god played the reversey card on that too? Bird god was like, I'm not the one in. He played the reversey card too. On this, he was like, I'm not the one who's enslaving people. I'm being enslaved. Reversey. I invented the word reverse. I invented the word slavery. Huh? What are you going to do? I own everything. I print all the books. I make all the movies and music and media. You aren't going to say shit. It's what I say it is. That's why the giant bunny's out there. He's probably still out there right now. I haven't looked around, but it's only been 20 days since the day he came out, right? The giant bunny's still out there. And if you don't believe in that, you're going to get blown up like Iran is, or you're going to get genocided like the Native Americans. Oh, there we go. See, 6,000 years later, we have the cows still playing their same tune that they played 6,000 years ago. It's just reversey, and you can throw that. Like I said, being around some of these special needs, they're so retarded to me. Fucking being around some of them, I'm like, wait a minute. You guys are playing the reverse card, aren't you? You're playing the reverse card on the reverse card. They're telling you not to tear up school, and you're throwing the chairs across the room in school. They played the reverse card. You was like, I'm born, I'm alive. And they're like, no, you're not. You're going to school. I'm a free person. I can do whatever I want in life. No, you're not. You're going to school. And they're like, oh, yeah? Well, reverse-y. Let's throw some chairs. Fucking, man. Fucking same people, same attitude, same stories. Same shit coming out their mouths. Same personality. So that also tells us over the decades, over the centuries, that genetics haven't changed. For we have the cow still doing what the cow did. Last time I seen a cow, maybe they've dialed in the cow. Maybe the cow probably has less room to move, right? That was a real farm ran by real farmers who use their own product, probably. So, they had like acres and a few cows. And nowadays you got chicken coops where you just put 10,000 chicken in a small cage and, So, yeah, hey, that's the way it used to be. You used to have acres for a few cows, and now you got a little bathroom for a few cows. They're dialing it in, how many pennies they can save for each cattle they've chopped up and shit. And wow. But what do you do? There isn't different animals on Earth, not that you can speak of. No one's had. What's the robot test? I've got some fucking ideas. Unfortunately, lots of people fail fucking the living being test. So, I got some ideas how to spot which ones are the fucking the horses and shit rounding up the cattle. Fucking. But it's more like different breeds of horses. Some are just faster than others and shit like that. It's more like that than the difference between a horse and a cow. It's totally brain dead versus something that'll at least run. It'll kick you if you fucking touch it the wrong way. It's not gonna run away. It's gonna kick your ass. You're gonna go flying away. The cow doesn't do any of that shit. Those are two fucking different species and shit. Fucking. Anyway, so reverse E card. There's never been a half bird god. It's just the Bible people. It's just those gray skinned Middle Eastern people making up a whole bunch of dumb shit. Fucking, what are they? Kanye thinks they came from fucking China and shit. Fucking. Who cares what they are? What matters is we can visually identify what's happening, and we can recognize patterns in language, even if they do look different and shit. We can recognize that the cow is chewing the cud. We can recognize that the horse is dragging tranquilized cows into the deli slicer. We can do that. Unlike the cow, who is unable to recognize that that's just a wooden fence, and if you don't break through that, you're going to get chopped the fuck up real soon. There's a world of difference there between a cow and a living being. Anyways, but we can still recognize their difference. There's a world of difference between a cow and a horse. The cow just sits there like a rock, and then the horse runs and will kick you and send you into the afterlife if you try to violate it. If you hit it hard or something like that, or if it doesn't even want you around and you're trying to come around. World of difference. The cow's probably got the power to do something like that. It just doesn't have any brains, so it doesn't attempt. I mean, it's like 600 pounds. It could just run at the wooden fence and the fence go bye-bye. No need for the fence. No need for the fence. The fence is like a toothpick to a cow, but it doesn't do that. Now, a horse, if a horse sees you dragging it in to chop it up and breeding its family for that, a horse just hop right over the fence and never be seen again. In fact, it'll probably just hop over the fence anyways. Even if you treat it good, it might just hop over the fence and never see you again. That's just what they do. This is why they're kept in the stables and shit. Tied up because they're going to leave if they're not. Most likely not going to stay around. That's why people keep dogs and cats inside, because they're not cows. Because a cat is most like, people are afraid cats are going to go forever. Dogs sometimes go forever. It's what a cow would do if you didn't put a toothpick fence in front of it, and it's like, I think there's something in the way. Oh, let's just not go that direction. I don't think it has that much brain power. Anyway, so reverse card, isn't that great? Fucking. So we figured out in this video that the link between today, 2,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, and the reverse card that they've been playing, we figured out, we finally have this. For me, this is really the first time I put that together, that's solid fucking evidence that they're inventing bird stories to slaughter people who don't believe in them, because they're out on the streets saying they're going to torture you if you don't believe everything they say. They're doing it today. So what would the purpose be to inventing birdmen 6,000 years ago, putting on a mask and telling everyone, I'm a bird? And how stupid or scared would people have to be like, oh, that's a bird. Oh yeah, look at that. It's a fake Dollar Tree mask of a bird. It's not a fake Dollar Tree mask. It's a real bird. It's a chicken. That's why it can't fly. Oh, wait a minute. They probably did say it could fly, huh? Who knows? No, it always got the bird hat on. It never has any bird wings and shit. Fucking. So we have them doing it today. We have them linked together. They use both the symbols and their nations. So the New World Order, the Egyptian pharaohs, and the Bible people are all the same people, of course. But it's all about reversey, right? It's not a flying bird. It's a goddamn fucking 90-pound punk put on a goddamn bird mask. Reversey card, it is a flying bird. Oh, you're not a slave from Egypt. You own everything on the fucking planet. Slaves don't own everything. They use everything, they make everything for the people who have enslaved them, so those people can own everything. Oh, reversey, we was the slaves. You notice they even have that propaganda too, where they're, we was slaves, and they're blaming someone else for it. They're doing it, everything they're blaming other people for, it's what they do. They're blaming La Raza, the Mexicans are coming to outbreed America. They came from Middle Earth to outbreed the entire world. They say, oh, they're these trash, these motherless trash in the ghetto, these fatherless trash. And Donald Trump and fucking whatever, Musk, they have they have 6 children each, but they don't go around, right? Fucking, they don't hang out with the mother. They left the kids with the mother and they leave them. Fucking, but they're saying, reversey card, reversey. It's not us, it's them. Reversey. We wasn't, they weren't slaves. We were slaves. Reversey. That's all they've been doing. That's not a human. That's a god. It's a half bird. Reversey. You must listen to him because it's a god. It's got a bird mask on. Reversey. See, you better listen to what I say because the Birdman has a lot of friends who aren't birds, but they will kill you. They will kill you. So, reversey. That's all that's going on here. It's not pedophilia and it's circumcision. Reversey. My brain told me to tell you that you're my slave and to worship me. No, a burning bush. I was talking to a plant. A plant was talking to me, and that was God. That was the talking plant was who created you. Reversey. You got to do everything I say. Reversey. It's for your health. Go climb the mountain. Go buy your air breathing machine that you're not going to use because you're not going to go to the fucking mountains if you can't breathe. Fucking, because your lungs would work if you fucking were active. Buy it for your health. Don't buy it for my money. Don't buy it because I need money and I got junk to sell. Reversey, it's for your health. Oh, reversey. Don't buy the marijuanas. They'll fry your brain. Keep buying them drugs I've been selling you at my hospital. Reversey. Fucking, I swear, it's just like the cow, dude. They're like cows, man. All they're doing is some simplistic ass shit. I don't think their genetics can do anything else. I won't make any mistakes if I were, if I had the power of the reversey card, I wouldn't make any mistakes. The job would be done, but hey, maybe fucking maybe they can't do anything else because it seems to be a pattern here where for thousands of years they've been the same beings saying the same things and doing the same things. I mean, you gotta invent science so you can continue to rape kids from 6,000 years ago. Who's busy spending all their time writing books just so they can rape kids is the main benefit they're gonna get from a book that isn't offered in any other book in the world besides, the you must believe in flying reindeer or else you're going to be tortured method. Obviously, that predates that. So that's the secondary, right? You gotta have the control first, and then you gotta be like, oh, and your kids are my sex toys now. So obviously the control would come first, but that's like a secondary. Like you should really leave that out. But they didn't leave it out. They made sure to use the reversey card, and they're like, that's not pedophilia homo rituals. child mutilation rituals, that's circumcision. Reversey, although they did invent that word a long time ago. But Einstein was just invented recently, and he came through with that low IQ pedophile reversey bullshit. So apparently, all their people have ever been able to do is make up lies and dumb shit and just fucking and somehow write books before everyone else. I don't think you needed language because you wouldn't have a dumbass bird god if you didn't have some dumbass telling you there was a dumbass bird god. That's the whole thing. You didn't need language to start. And who are they saying invented language? That's right. They're saying their bird friend invented languages. Reversey. It's all so simple. It's all bullshit. Everything, every word, every written, ever spoken. It starts with flying birdmen to protect pedophilia and slavery and shit. And to invent the idea that they can just reverse the words, create a new word, and it means the entire opposite of the previous word. It's not the most disgusting thing the people could ever do. It's the greatest thing because it's for. Who's it for? The guy in the bird mask or the bird god? Which one is it? I'll give you 5 seconds to decide if you have above 20 IQ or not. Well, this video hasn't helped you if you have come to the conclusion that there was a half bird man once on the planet. And because I must inform you that these things haven't been seen ever. And that means it probably doesn't exist. And you couldn't catch these bird gods and kill them because they could just fly away, fly up in the sky, right? Anyway, so reversey life, fucking reversey your mind. Take that shit down to their level and below it. Don't be their tool. Be their fool. Just get rid of it. There's not a lot of. If you're intelligent, you're not. You're gonna be mostly alone here, anyways. But because it takes ignorance to fucking do this. But you could waste your whole life trying to learn and have to learn it the hard way. But it would help if it would help if all that shit I do. It helped when I was a kid and when I was like loaded up on shit. Fucking, I didn't see shit. Fucking, you know. So, but shit, bro, it almost like I kind of stopped smoking in 2020, and then that's kind of when shit started getting bad and stuff. But I wasn't doing it enough, you know. Like that's when I started seeing everything for what it is and realizing that the answer should have been fucking frying myself when I was like 6 or 8 and shit. The answer should have been that, because then I wouldn't have to remember any of it. Then they couldn't have done most of that shit. You can't, if your cow's too retarded to chew grass, then it's not going to be a very good cow and shit. You're not going to serve your purpose and shit as a cuck. Fucking, but here in America, here on Earth, the loving bird god planet, the planet of the bird god, Jeffrey Epstein. You know that's who was under that mask, right? 10 million %. I know Jeffrey Epstein was a slave to the bird god. Well, I got news for you. the Templars, the Crusaders, and the leaders of Egypt wore masks, and they all use the same gang sign. It's like a swastika, but it's not because it's their other gang sign. Fucking, I got news for you on that one. Fucking, anyways, so what a waste of time this is. Fucking breeders should be fucking dealt with. Breeders should be getting charged for serious fucking crimes for bringing fucking children onto the earth. But look, we're 6,000 years into breeding out the human populace to people whose genetic code produces a child who sees invisible flying reindeer because they're scared they're going to get tortured if they don't. Because they will get tortured. They're scared. You're already being tortured. You were already mutilated and raped at birth. Fucking in many cases. There's no fear involved in the Birdman's need to fucking mutilate and rape everyone he fucking finds. Now the thing is do you want it harder? Do you want it harder? Do you want mutilated more? Do you want to work night and day shifts? Or do you just want to work day shift and be a good person and praise the bird god? That's a question, but no one's phrasing the question like that because I don't know, man. Humans seem like they're smart enough to understand that they're benefiting from the horse. The horse understands it's benefiting from dragging the fucking cattle to the fucking. Animals might be a lot dumber than living beings. But I'm pretty sure they're robots, but what level of software do they have in them fucking. The horse will understand that. None of the other animals on the barn are getting all hyped and uppity when it's slaughter day. The dog is not getting all concerned when it has to nip at the fucking cow's legs who doesn't go in. The dog isn't concerned it's gotta round those sheep up. The dog seems like it'd be smart enough too not to be used as dog meat. Of all the animals, that one probably notices. That's why it's a guard. That's why it's an attack thing, because it notices I'm going to get fed if I help take this animal to the slaughter. And the dog doesn't care, and no one cares about the dogs either. Oh, they don't. No one cares about the dog. And the dog, many dogs can realize that. Some people might like their dog and treat them well, but many dogs, you can tell they realize. And I don't think the person who has me in this cage likes me very much. But does it bite off the head of its owner when it gets out? No, it's pretty good. Now, put it on a farm, put it outside, and it's going to go round those cows up. It's going to go round the horses up. It's going to round the sheep up. Probably going to be hard to round some horses up, but it'll round up everything else, right? It'll round up everything else. And the dog seems almost smart enough. It's supposedly levels below humans. The dog seems like it'd be smart enough to understand as long as I'm the one getting paid and fed to go help chop these cows up, then I'm not the one getting chopped up. What do you think's going to happen? You take animals to let them run free on a farm, and then there's a slaughterhouse for dogs, and just a bunch of dogs on the farm. It's a dog burger factory. Those dogs aren't going to be around too long. Those dogs are you're going to have to wear a lead suit trying to get them. You're going to have to tranquilize them, have a horse drag them off to the meat grinder Dogs seem just smart enough to understand that if they would watch their entire population magically walk in this building and disappear, and then you'd probably occasionally hear a yelp and shit, and you get beaten if you didn't go. Dogs seem like the type of animal that ain't just going to do that. They supposedly come from wolves, and I guarantee you wolves ain't going to do that. Wolves have like 6 members, and they'll watch you take one away, and that'll be the last one you get to take away. So, the reverse card in the mindset. Isn't that weird? We can study patterns from 6,000 years ago. And these people haven't changed over 6,000 years. They still are doing the same thing. Like human evolution never happened. There's technology. Never mistake a computer with you. The computer does a lot. You sit in front of the computer. The computer does a lot. You need a better computer. The computer isn't asking for a better you. That's not even a question. Do we need a better person to operate the computer? Or do we need a better computer so it can run faster and get things done? Do we need a faster person to operate the computer? Maybe in a business setting we ask that question. Probably not. We always need a faster computer. The technology is there. But why is it that we see the same pattern in human code 6,000 years later if they've evolved? That means not only would this in group not have evolved beyond that, they've slightly changed. They got drugs now. They got their technology. They've changed the torture. They boiled you in oil 2,000 years ago. And these days they inject oils and rocks and chemicals into your body. It's really the same thing. It's the technology has changed. They didn't have drugs 2,000 years ago, or they'd boil you in the fucking drugs. They'd fry and make you eat 2 pounds of cocaine and just watch you, and put you in a room and watch you run in circles until your heart explodes and blood splatters all over because it just exploded so strongly. They would invent shit like that, but it's not them. It's not them evolving. It's not them changing their patterns. They're using the same exact pattern they used 6,000 years ago. Flying reindeer and flying birdmen do not exist. But because the people 6,000 plus years ago who invented that shit are still around, you still must believe in flying bird fucking people. And it's like, would they seriously call off all the ones who were like, no, you're stupid, you're not a bird? And then they're like, oh, well, someone gave us these guns. I'll tell you what, why don't you ask the gun if I'm a bird, if it thinks I'm a bird person? You think I'm a liar? Well, no, wait a minute. My gun thinks, oh, yeah, reverse card. You're a liar. You're a liar when you don't believe in this shit. Remember, oh, shit, you see what I'm saying? Very simple genetic code. It's like a cow. It's bending its head over, taking a bite out of grass, chewing on it, walking, sitting down, taking a dump, taking a pee, and then getting chopped up 16 years later. That's all it fucking has ever done. We're looking at people 6,000 years ago who still are doing the same exact thing. with technology, a little bit of language, a little bit of changing, boiling people. What they used to drop people, drown people, right? Egyptians probably buried people alive in the sand or something. Fucking, it's not any different than taking him to the fucking hospital and drugging him up. It's the same person using all they had was sand before. Someone gave them a different type of nutrient from the soil, and a different nutrient from the soil just happens to be a drug that can fry your brain. And so they give you that. But there's no sun. This actually rebukes evolution because we have evidence they were the same people 6,000 years ago, and 6,000 is more than enough for a person, a living thing, to change and evolve rather than just invent a computer or, the sand, literally, that is, right, silicone. Isn't that out there? Fucking. Anyway, so reverse card. Reverse card, the reverse card. Just like I said, like the special needs people I've fucking been to classes of, been with my family when they raised them and raised myself. None of those people I ever seen. I've always had questions about that, but I don't. I don't give a shit. If they're playing the if they got a handful of reversey cards, I think it's funny as fuck because that's what the fuck you need. You need that reversey card. You need that shit. And those people are fucking always having a good time and shit. That's the problem, right? They're always excited, and that's everyone else's fucking problem with them and shit. And then me, I'm like, whoa. I won't tell him your secret, bro. Fucking reversey card. But serious, this is not a joke. And well, we're trapped here until we aren't trapped here anymore. So you've only got a couple options how to untrap yourself from this planet. And one of them seems a little harder than fake TV shows, fake news seem to portray things as. Now you got to realize they're lying. All those people are lying all the time. They're talking about fucking flying reindeer and giant bunnies and bird gods. The fuck would you even listen to? The reason why is because they've invented this language and they told you this show is entertainment and this show is news and history. And so, because of news and history, we know that there was once a bird god. And we know that the bird god enslaved the planet and the good people of America had been freed from the bird god. So they could go on to invent the flying, invisible, glow-in-the-dark reindeer god. I was once enslaved by the flying bird god. But now I've got enslaved people under the flying, invisible, glow-in-the-dark reindeer god. Wait, where does that not sound like the same fucking crackhead? Trying to invent all sorts of shit to force their way into your life because no one wants to go around them and shit. And then why are we inventing the bird god? Because if we don't believe, he's going to torture you. it's like a crackhead. I don't know what it's like to be on the end of desperation. Just obsession with social parasitism. I have no idea. I'm on the opposite end. I didn't go to normal school. I was put in like advanced desks, advanced corners of the room, and I did go to advanced classes. Like my last year, I went fucking. They put me in like whole classes full of people, but I didn't. By that time, I was already used to being by myself. So 6 other people in the room, and that year before, I had 3 years before, I think I was in a class that there was had 2 groups of people: people who caused problems and people who fucking were intelligent. The other people were intelligent, and uh, maybe I was there for both reasons. But I was there supposedly for the other reason. Um, Even though I'm on like honor roll and student of the month, all sorts of shit. Fucking, I did notice that, but that wasn't written before. Every other time it was written, it was spoken as you're going to this, you're passing up grades, we're putting you over here because we're giving you a different curriculum. But anyway, so I don't think you got to be there to not not see invisible reindeers. That's some serious hallucinating going on there to see invisible people and shit. Fucking, I've never been able to achieve that. Fucking, but it's not about that. It's reversey. It's reversey language. The whole thing is fake and a fraud. There's a bird god. No, there's not. We was slaves. We wrote, and then we bought a printing press and we wrote the world's first book. We took all the gold in the world to create the world's first printing press because it was so expensive back then. There was only one. And then we wrote in the book we was slaves. No, slaves can't afford media 6,000 years ago because slaves can't afford media today. The cost on media would have been way more expensive. That would have been the price of nuclear bombs these days. It still is. It just, in inflation comparison, it would have, been a nuclear. Literally is what it's about. Language is the nuclear bomb. It is the first mass weapon of destruction. Fucking, that's what they carve into the pyramid that I am a bird man, or I will chop off your family's heads and bury you in the sun, and you will die slowly over 3 days of breathing in sand. And then the scribes is like, yes, you are a bird. You are a bird god. Yes. No. It's the same thing. Isn't that weird though? We can extract that they've never once evolved. They've never evolved, have they? This is all technology giving the illusion of evolution. That's why they've got to create this evolution religion. It's the same people. It's that bird brain motherfucker Einstein behind it. It's their new fucking bird religion. They replace it with the flying reindeer. Is what they talk about now is the flying reindeer. It's like their brains. It ain't fucking real. It's just like a simple parasitic toaster code on repeat for centuries and shit. Doing and saying the same thing. You could evolve this shit to be just slightly believable. But they don't even do that. They stick with invisible bird gods. They stick with invisible flying reindeer. There's no evolution anywhere, learning. Invisible bird god, he was bird god first, remember. And then he turned invisible. But he brought his flying reindeer and his giant bunnies with him. He sure did. You would drop the dead weight. You would drop it because it would serve no purpose in brainwashing, invading, and colonizing, raping and killing everyone on the planet. It would serve no purpose. They're not trying to kill, they're trying to rape and enslave. They only kill when you say no to the rape and enslavement. So you would want to dial that in. And they kind of semi-have with Einstein and science, but they went right back to it. I don't remember NASA talking about the flying deer gods. The flying glowing deer gods. I don't remember that. Maybe it's because no one cares what they say, so no one ever said that. But I noticed that was appearing like 20, 40 years ago. And it's like, their brains haven't evolved to make their slavery and genocide rape cults more effective over 6,000 years. It's like they're cows who can't do anything else. It's like they're mosquitoes who can't do anything else. It's like they're incapable. They somehow they came by with the science thing and then they go right back, but it's not really different, right? They go into space heaven and right away they got on the ball about legalizing pedophilia for Einstein and his bird god family. It's like, wow, bro, 6,000 years and they haven't evolved once. Let's chalk that up. I don't think it's actually happening because they haven't evolved. And everything's just technology. There's nothing new seems to be coming out of this. If they were competent enslavers and rapists, which they're definitely trying to be because they've already enslaved and raped the entire planet, they're definitely trying to be. Why not become better at it? Why doesn't a mosquito arm itself with a fucking electrical field, electrical force field, a shield? That way, if you try to slap it, you get electrified and it's protected. Why isn't a mosquito? Because a mosquito can't do anything else. It's not going to be able to. Why hasn't the cow decided, hey, those little sticks, those little toothpick wood fences in front of me, they look like I could just walk right through them without even trying. Why don't we do that? Because they're not evolving. They could just walk right through the fences. I'm sure even with modern steel ones, a few of them, hitting it'd be gone. Maybe just one. Cows are large animals. 600 pounds is a lot of weight. And I think that might be a light cow too. So they don't. Why don't they? Why haven't cows evolved to to do anything else. These are the people controlling there too. So their propaganda to fry and kill other people, it doesn't matter. Their propaganda hasn't helped. It's not for them. It's for thee. They haven't evolved past that. The science thing is kind of like a sign of possible evolution. Like they're like, whoa, these people don't believe in bird gods anymore. Let's start talking about something else. But they go right back to flying reindeer. I mean, their brains. I mean, just fucking listen to them. Look at them. Look at what they create. Look at their society. Listen to the Hollywood fucking 2-cent 4/4 music. It just fucking wow. When I was born, I heard like classical, and then I heard Hollywood, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? They go, what the fuck 2-cent bum is making this? And then there was like, there's 18 people in that Elvis Presley band. And I'm like, there's 18 fucking people making that song? That shit, what the fuck are they do? Let me guess, 19 people of the 18 are just smoking crack and going to sleep, and they're recording the sound of them snoring and turning in bed? Is that where it's coming from? That's not evolution either. Fucking. But they show no signs of. We've been stuck on slow baby music forever. Like their brains haven't sped up. The processing speed shit hasn't sped the fuck up. You think fucking that's all you could do in a time like this and shit. You think that's what meth and cocaine would do, because that's what it does to me. I'll be making some 900 BPM music in no time. I make that shit already without drugs. Fucking, not quite 900 BPM, but give me the drugs and I'll do it. Fucking. So you tell me, man. Anyways, this is always a waste, right? Fucking, you got a whole planet here filled with these fucking NPC and shit. There's nothing that can be done. It's too late. Fucking, you can't. It's not what we're gonna bring the smart people who fucking fought to their death back to life. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna get Einstein to invent immortality. Oh, guess who invented the search for immortality? You'll never guess. It was the bird god. Yes. It was Amen Ra. Amen ramen noodles. Fucking he invented the search for immortality. The search for that oxygen machine so you can go outside and climb the mountain. I wonder who's gonna get money from that. Will it be the bird god and Cleopatra so they can be drugged through the desert in their golden throne to their golden palace in Rome? The search for immortality. Eternal life. Wait a minute. It's not that hard to see. They put their religious symbols on the hospitals. They put the bird god fucking symbol on the fucking hospital. There was no immortality back then. There was no bird god. And there's no immortality today. And there is no flying fucking reindeer. But there is this parasite, motherfucking whatever the fuck, cattle, mosquito, evolution, hybridized breeding that is taking place that invents bird gods and shit. And invents breathing machines to carry up the mountain. so you can become immortal. Just like Amen Ramen Noodles promised us back in the day. You know, we've got 300 flavors of ramen noodles. We got 3,000 plus flavors of raw noodles, noodle head. But there's no immortality with it yet. Jesus, what is that? What do you think? I think I just answered the question. Why do you think that is? Because they fucking they had to slime off and create a new fucking name for it every fucking few years and shit. Now it's not Amen Ra who's gonna give you immortality, and it's not the Holy Grail from the Crusader invaders from the Middle Earth from Italy. Oh, it's not Jesus from Rome. Oh, today it's going to be his Jesus' great great grandchild, Einstein and Carl Sagan, and all the rest of them and shit. Fucking man, these retards haven't changed anything at all. And you realize most of them aren't really working, and those are fake jobs and shit, right? So they've got a lot of free time to evolve if they want to. But it doesn't look like the code operating this thing that's moving. Is it called walking if it's a robot or an NPC or something? Not really, right? There's effort required in walking. Fucking that's not. It's not. It's called walking, right? But it's not really walking. Fucking. You know, if you're playing a video game and you haven't actually walked through the virtual world in some sort of Oculus headset, and then the other characters who are just the quest givers are walking, they're not really walking. Fucking. Anyways, yeah, this is great. This is amazing. Another fucking day of awesomeness and shit. Can't wait for these rapist fucking bird brains. I believe there's a shred of evidence there's a bird god once, because there is some bird brain motherfuckers who talk about bird gods and shit. But they've never had any sort of ability like that. They've only had the bird brain ability. They've never been able to fly. You know, spread their wings and their beak, their proboscis they use to go catch fish from the river and fly out in the ocean like the seagull. But their brains, sure, that's a bird brain. We're inventing bird brain shit here. Fucking. Maybe that's why they came up with bird god, because they're like, what can we convince you got a bird brain. We ain't gonna be able to convince no one of anything. That's it. I'm a bird god. Wow, you're so smart. Wow. Now you go write that in the wall there. Carve that into the wall, or the bird god's gonna get you. And they're like, oh yeah, oh shit, the bird god's gonna get me if I don't go carve it in the wall. Oh shit. And then they're like, hey, you know, you just made up that bird god story, and they took it from you, and it's not really bird god. And probably not gonna be able to kill you. He's got no special bird powers. Like, don't you insult the bird god. That is my lord. He is the leader. It, she, he, it's the leader. It's the leader. You just called my leader a he, didn't you? It's a bird. It's not a he or a she. And this is fucked up. You live on a planet like this and shit. Fucking. And then the goal of it is what? To try to become as retarded as you can and fry your brain so you can't feel anything while you're here. While they're. It seems like Earth would just be a giant torture pit to me. You're forced to date bird god family who's invaded and killed your ancestors and most other people's ancestors on the planet. You're forced to talk with bird god who is a fucking like a high school girl who just can't shut the fuck up. And has no friends but desperately needs some because her only goal in life is social parasitism. And so we're inventing bird god stories so people will talk to us to tell you gotta come give the bird god all the money. Every day, come talk to us. Fucking, wow, this is absurd. Fucking, how does this place exist? You see what I'm saying? Like, you have these patterns of these creatures who have never been able to change. You have 6,000 years later, their first words are the same as their words today. Pretty much, someone gave them some new words. Reversey, and they're reversey. But they were using the reversey back then, and they were using the language back then, so that's not changed. That's not new. That's not evolution. Would be dropping the dumbassery so you can be a more efficient enslaver and killer. Well, obviously they're trying to enslave. You don't kill your fucking slaves. Enslaver and rapist. 6,000 years later, they just came out with some science bullshit. And the science bullshit is still... I can see, right, we're protecting the pedophiles. What's it? Fucking... So, yeah. Good cover. Oh, there's no invisible bird god. Yeah, smart people don't believe that. But, yeah, you gotta rape the kids still. Because we're going to hurt bird gods' rights. Bird gods' people and his people, we're going to take their rights from them if we don't allow that. And then magically, we're like, well, but there is this flying reindeer, though. It is real cute and all that. It's like, you would think if these things had a working brain, they would air. There's only like a couple holes in their system that, because it's all this bird god's going to torture you if you don't fucking let me rape you and let me my people rape and enslave you. Fucking... You have that going on. And you could be a much more effective rapist and killer. Or enslaver. Obviously, you could be a good killer if you wanted to. You just suck at it. And you're not trying. Or your genetic code to do so has been removed. Doubtful. Looks like there's been a lot of explosions and invasions. And the goal is enslavement and rape. And rape is part of enslavement, right? It's just you're now a rape slave. You're now a sex slave. But you have to specify that because they've split it all off. See, there isn't a million things to talk about. There's only one or two. But we got to invent these languages. And bird gods who invent languages. And flying reindeer. Invisible glowing reindeer who invent languages. Because there's nothing to talk about if we don't make up a bunch of bullshit in between the actual stuff's going on. Is someone invading me to rape me? Or are they invading me to kill me? Or are they invading me to enslave me? It doesn't matter. What matters is they shouldn't be there. But someone has an invented language so we drag it out, and you know who's it's the flying deer people outside who are using language to suck your soul from you, your time, your blood. That's them doing it. How does it all link together? So fine, down to like three things: 6,000 years, global invasion. If you've never been around a large country, let me tell you, the world's pretty fucking big. Without a car, you would be going nowhere. Fucking. So, 6,000 years, billions of miles later, the cow is still chewing the grass. The mosquito is still sucking the blood. You know, they've not moved on to a different position, you know? It's the same fucking words. Do you guys think birds, I think cats meowed back 6,000 years ago? Probably did, right? What are cats doing today? They ain't doing nothing. They meowing. That's all they're doing. 6,000 years. And the bird brains, are the ones inventing their new religion of science and evolution. Where once they were a monkey and then they learned how to be smart. But you know what? Once they learned how to be smart, and they never became any smarter. Why is that? Well, it's billions of years. Literally not. It takes me like a fucking couple years to learn something really hard. Let alone the few minutes it takes to learn something not hard. Fucking doubtful. This is all obviously. See, it's not on me to prove that invisible flying reindeer aren't real. It's on someone else to prove why they shouldn't be locked up and drugged and sedated if they talk about shit like that. It's on someone else to prove why they invented places to lock away people who talk about the shit they do, and they're using it to lock away people who are infinity fucking superior to them. And fuck these. Fuck these trash. What trash are you guys up to next? I want to know. Fucking. This is all this is. It's just planet trash here. Flying bird gods. Ooh. Ooh, you know what? You sound retarded. Don't ever talk to me. Well, we've got the government and we got lots of people and we're going to threaten to kill you if you don't keep listening to us talk. Our invisible friend's going to torture you if you don't listen to us talk. And before that happens, someone who looks exactly like me is going to come rape and torture you too. So you better just listen. In fact, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to kill you if you're not my friend. Why are we on a planet where these things happen? These jealous, obsessive, mental fucking rejects are allowed to talk. Their fear of someone smart and intelligent preventing stupid people from breeding definitely fits the bill for what should be done. What the fuck? What the fuck type of shit is this? Fucking fake ass fucking terrorists and shit. What the fuck are they doing in my country and shit? Go find your own fucking country. Like there's terrorists talking all this shit, bombing this Middle East place. And they ain't gonna go back. They say, we're gonna go back. They ain't never gonna go back. They're fucking rapists. They're murderers and enslavers and rapists. They're not gonna go back there and rape and murder and enslave themselves. What the fuck are they gonna do that for? But when will they? You know what I'm saying? Let's put the question out there. When is it time for them to pack up their science and their Bible and their satanic Bible and their Quran and take that shit back to Middle Earth where it came from, and all of their people and all their fucking future people and everything else. When is that going to happen? Put the mosquitoes back by the ocean so they go fuck back in Florida. Where the fuck? You don't need mosquitoes everywhere. Let alone controlling everything. What the fuck type of shit is this? How come I'm 40 years old and I've never heard this discussion before, but it's the only thing that matters. It's like you come here, you're born, and you're like, these are fucking pedophiles. This bitch whore mother of mine is just explain to me what a pedophile. No, my grandma explained to me what a pedophile was. Then my mom did the pedophile shit. Fucking, oh yeah. Technically it was two people. Fucking same people. Same fucking. It was like the mosquito from 6,000 years ago. It didn't really do anything new. Fucking, what the fuck type of shit is this? Where this trash is allowed to breed, replicate on this planet, yet alone go and do everything they're doing. Who the fuck would have sex or touch one of these people? I mean, like, fucking, I know me personally, like, I'd like to take out my parents if they act like that and shit. Like, that's what any man with honor will do to someone who's talking to them like they're a dumbass who doesn't understand anything. That's a crackhead. That's why they're genetic. 6,000 years ago, crackheads out there on the corner invented their flying bird god. Now they invent, I'm on crack. That's why I act the way I do. Not because my family's been a crackhead family for centuries, inventing a bunch of crackhead Bible religion and the flying amen ramen noodle gods. Fucking hell. This is so stupid. How do you even live on a... I guess that's what happens when they're stupid. But how do I end up being born to stupid people, too stupid to realize you shouldn't fucking have kids? Where do I come from? And shit, what planet do I come from where I can fucking see this shit? And my parents are like fucking toddlers, like eternal toddlers. Fucking... How are you born... and you're smarter than your fucking parents when you're born? What the fuck planet do I come from? How the fuck? This is fucked up. At the end of the day, it just seems like a giant place where some real sick fucking piece of trash has somehow injected fucking their cells around you and shit. I mean, think of the trash inventing whatever's, if these things are robots, think of the trash inventing that. It's all that trash combined. It's at 6,000 years ago, total trash. 6,000 years forward to today, it looks like total trash, don't it? It's not inventing anything fucking new here and shit. Anyways, what a waste this is. Fucking, and these breeders. But it's, you know what, they've got their new excuse for why they're never going to be able to do anything about it, because you're born in Babylon. And everyone's out for themselves, so they're not no one's gonna be lined up. It's too late. They've already showed me these stories my whole life about how I'm supposed to care about one group of trash more than the others and shit like that. And it's like, you do realize your low IQ has never fucking even crossed my brain as being valid. There's never been a bird god. There's never been flying reindeer. It's never happened. It doesn't go on. It never once does. But they continue with this shit. They continue with this shit. Fucking, it's all they got. And it's, again, after 6,000 years, unless you should be able to learn and evolve and move to better rape and slavery schemes and shit. You know, slightly. We changed worker to slave to worker. All we're doing is doing the reversey card. We're doing the reversey card. We got the slaves not living on the plantation. Well, that was only a short time. The slaves weren't living in the pyramid with Cleopatra's ass. Fucking. It was a fucking chicken coop cage to keep people trapped in. It wasn't about slaves not getting the fuck away from their owner and shit at night. It was about fucking people who could visually identify themselves being separate from the other people and not wanting Amen ramen noodles to come around them and shit. This is fucked up shit. That is every fucking day since I'm a kid. This is all there is. It's like, oh yeah, the Tooth Fairy and the Flying Reindeer and school and Einstein and the Flying Bird God. It's like serious. It's like what? I mean, those are the signs, right? You're dealing with a crackhead who its brain is just fried. Fucking see, it looks like motherfuckers enjoy it. See what I'm saying? That's the whole point of the video, though, isn't it? You either gotta die or you gotta fry your brain, because this place just ain't fucking. This place just ain't fucking happening for anyone else. Like, one of the two ways. You have to have a serious fucking fried brain to, even if you don't believe in that shit and you're repeating it, like for your peoples to enslave and rape the planet. Like, that just adds to the levels of sickness on worse than, you know, raping all the people they invade and enslaving everyone. Like, much worse is just their ability to fucking just say these words as if anyone wants to hear them and force people to hear them. Like, there's worse thing than rape, and they're using the reversey card. Your time is more important than a rape. Okay, all these girls I know who get raped, they got raped, and then life goes on. Now, if you're being enslaved 24-7, now if you're put in a cage and your only time you're allowed to leave the cage is to go have sex with Cleopatra, then that's an equal problem. But we've played the Uno reversey card with the bird brains of religion. And what happens there? What happens with the bird brains of religion? Well, all of a sudden, life isn't valuable, and your blood, your time, your energy isn't valuable. The only thing that's valuable is some fat hoe's vagina that got violated once or twice. There's a reversey card there. A male prostitute is paid to spend his time with and talk to a woman. That's the majority of what happens. And what happens the reverse way? Well, if you don't pay the woman, it's rape, but you go hang out with her for 15 minutes and you pay her. And she's a prostitute. But they've changed it to where you have the flying reindeer people are out there just raping everyone. It's your life as a male gigolo. Your value is nothing. In fact, you need to pay them. You need to pay them so they can force themselves to talk to you some days. Fucking Uno reversey, man. This is all that's going on in these little dogs' brains, isn't it? These fucking pea brain motherfuckers are not living beings, I can tell you that. And without factoring all the falsities I've seen and the clones appearing out of nowhere, their brains haven't evolved in 6,000 years, which means they don't have brains. Because it would. You learn every day and you advance all the time if you're doing anything. Even if all you're doing is raping and invading and making mind control propaganda religions. But the only sign of that was when Rome fell and they became the eternal victim again. This is not the first time they were the victims to themselves. It's the first story. The second story probably had a little less holes in it. It still relies on invisible cartoon characters and shit. Fucking. This is sick, man. Fucking. My parents need to be put on fucking trial for fucking child abuse. I think, I say my parents because everyone else definitely gets the fucking axe and shit. Fucking. It's not a fun game these losers are playing. Rape? Enslavement is a fun game? Well, let me play the game. When do I get to start forcing other people to date who I choose? When do I get to start telling other people who they're going to worship and what they're going to do and what they're going to say? When do I get to start doing that? Because I'll tell you, there won't be too much. It won't last too long because it'll be over soon because my goal ain't going to be to rape and enslave. It's going to be, the scary stuff. Ooh, escaping the world. Fucking, man. This is fucked up, bro. This is fucked up. I don't know if I've ever met another person who thinks that parents need prosecuted for being breeders. It's like no one's been there. I met one girl who was supposedly they shipped in my life from Mensa. It's like the bitch. Ooh, man. I don't know. They must have been grading her with a curve. She couldn't do one thing that was kind of basic, and I was like, what? Anyways, this shit is garbage, man. Shit is being forced to be here. When do I get to start forcing other people to be where I want to force them to be? I've got some ideas for things. When do I get my chance to do all of it? When do I get my chance to control the whip and shit? Choose which method of torture and fucking shit. Fucking, how come it's this whole group fucking organized to do all that shit for thousands of years to me? And when do I get to force them to believe that I'm a fucking a 20-story tall giant mechanized robot? Or else? When do I get that? I don't want it. I'm not trash. You see, I don't want trash because I'm not trash. Not because I'm trash and I'm playing the reversey card. Fucking damn, this is fucking crazy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed your Giant Bunny Day. Never mind the person telling you should double check your fucking school grades to see if you are intelligent enough to understand the words you're saying. Never mind that person. Fucking, yeah, I'm sure they don't, right? Because it goes on and on and on. 6,000 years of bird gods. From fucking pedophiles trying to blame Jeffrey Epstein for what they did and shit. Fucking trying to blame Europeans for what a nation that doesn't even have any Europeans in it is doing. Fucking, that's crazy. Fucking same people, same genetic code, same exact shit as 6,000 years ago. They haven't changed. They're not living beings. It's another sign because they've never been able to evolve. They've never been able to iron out the 2 to 6 things that make them look like total fucking imbeciles. They're just perfection. They're not allowed to have that brain update to perfect slavery and rape and mind control and shit. Fucking, they just never have got it. I never have got it. They don't even use good fucking studio footage for their fucking space heaven bullshit. Fucking at the NASA retard show. Fucking, how can you be a rocket scientist? Motherfucker, none of these bitches were in advanced classes with me. Oh, fucking retards. How can you be a fucking retard who can't fucking make a fucking video look good? And my video looks pretty fucking good. So I can't, I got $20 trillion in my NASA bank account. How can I make it look good? How the fuck does that happen? How the fuck did the mental incompetence, just like the inability to fucking stop being mentally incompetent for 6,000 fucking years and shit. Fucking, where the fuck? When does this shit end? Fucking, when do I get to fucking erase my memory of these faggots? And if they force their way back into my life, I will start fucking killing them. Whatever happens once I die here, next time, I'm going to be the one doing the enslaving and the torturing and shit. Fucking definitely gearing up for that. And you got the little faggots scared with their, the invisible person don't like being called out for what trash his race is. Oh, it's like, well, there's a reason he's invisible, because he's scared. Is that why? It sounds like he's scared. And you can tell by this trash robot creation, it's trash. I don't give a shit fucking what. No, I'm not trash. We're not going to align with trash. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, the bird person flying in the air on a deer. We're not going to do, we can't do it. See, this is what we got to fry so we can be like them. Bring their fucking shit down. Bring their world down. Bring their people down back to the Stone Age where they belong. Take all this shit from them. Get the fuck rid of anyone who's fucking been working with them. Fucking, thankfully, we've got fucking decades here of recordings of people who have been working with them, so we know what everyone's been up to and shit. It wasn't me. I can tell you that. I'm not guilty of working with them. Ever since I was born, there's been no them ever wanted in my life. From the day I spoke my first words to the fucking today, I didn't even want to ask that question. I didn't even want to talk to them back then. I was being forced to, because I was being forced to live with them and be around them, and they were playing their games. So I was asking one question to find out the answer to why this trash was talking to me. Well, the answer is every fucking thing. We have decades of fucking proving they've been up to. Centuries, my bad. 6,000 years ago they started this. Fucking wow, man. Wow, this is amazing and shit. Fucking dipshits. Fuck, I can't believe it. They've been forcing me to be around them. Like, you're desperate. Are they robots? Are they really mentally retarded people and shit? There's no fucking way an organic can be stupid. No fucking way. You learn. Fucking. They gotta be. They gotta be fucking. And then, so why are we trapped around them? fucking... This is shitty. It's coconut. I thought it was blueberry. No wonder it tasted so good. Fucking... Anyways. Well... Enjoy Earth. Fucking, if you're retarded, you will. Fucking, but there's nothing here to enjoy. These fuckers just forcing their way into your life and shit from the day you're born. Like, they even took away the smart person from me by the time I was conscious, and the smart person wasn't around me anymore. The smart, hard-working person was gone, just so they could, like, the pattern, the 6,000-year-old pattern of retards needing to be obsessed with forcing other people to be retards definitely hits home when you look at, like, the patterns here happening in my life and shit. And the NPC personality profile loading out. I think we got this one motherfucker trying to... We got a lot of NPC trying to tell me they're working hard and shit. And it's like, you're retarded. And if you did some work, you would learn over time. Evolution happens real fucking fast. It's not like 10 million fucking years and shit. It happens. You watch it fucking happen. Fucking, that's part of what's going on too, is there people, the fucking bird people, fucking, again, they is real. Again, everything they say is a lie. They is real, but they've never evolved. Seems like fake, because you could watch people evolve. You can watch. I've watched people around me sometimes move on and do other things. Can't say for sure any of them have thought through any of this. I think the smart ones just don't talk about it, because that's what you do. There is no flying reindeer. There's no bird god. Fucking, so why would I? There is no, the holy dresser drawer covered in oil, dresser drawer handle that's wet, talking to me. You know why? Because it's not happening, so I'm not talking about it. But leave it up to an ancient crackhead. They must have been hiding the secret to crack for centuries. Or is it that everyone you know who uses crack is one of them? I wonder which it is. Because for me, I got that limited scope in my life. But it's definitely, all the crackheads look like they're all the same family and shit, real close. Real close. Fucking, like, just one generation away. Fucking. Anyway, so now that we got 4 hours of the day out of the way, it's another day. Another 4 hours. Forced to fucking be here. Man, I would love to get my hands around the motherfuckers behind this shit. And, some days I develop intricate methods of torture, extremely long torture, and I'm very skilled in fucking health. And I would love to see, and I also like science, right? I wonder if humans can breathe like fish, if we give them gills, if they can breathe through their chest and shit. You gotta turn it into fun, right? They haven't been turning shit into fun. It's just bullshit from them. Turn it into an amusement park. I was talking about this at first, and then they came up with the Hell amusement park down in South America. Like, it came out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, that's homosexual shit. Like, that's not what it's going to be like. That's not what payback for this shit would be like. It wouldn't be a damn roller coaster, I'll tell you that much. It'd be something like a cage where you're forced to date whoever I fucking choose whenever I choose it, or whatever I choose. Bingo keyword. What? Fucking. Man, it's some fucking crazy shit to have to fucking forced to put up with, though. Fucking mentally retarded, probably robots. Computers designed to be dumb and hostile. Probably robots. I'm assuming, because there's no evolution. It's not been happening. They haven't changed. They're not smart enough to iron out their kinks. That's the only thing they talk about, I think about all the time, is their bullshit and how to use it to manipulate people. You would be able to iron out those 2-3 kinks right away. Maybe they never had a person. Maybe the reason that all this science was invented when I was born is because a person on Earth never smart enough to question any of it. And they can take the hints from me and shit, which they can, because they got the assholes, those fucking retards, want to be fucking geniuses. Fucking thing, like I said, I don't think any of those people was in any of the classes I was in. I was alone in most of my classes, but one class I was in, don't recall seeing them, man. Fucking. And the one person I know who was Mensa told me they ain't gonna go work for NASA when NASA approached them. So that's out the window and shit. Anyways, I hope this shit ends soon. I'm so fucking tired of it, but maybe it turns into some fun fast where we pull a reverse rape card and fucking reverse torture card. Never know. Things have been lining up pretty weird. And it is weird how, like, it just never works on their end. Unfortunately. It's still the flood. It's like a flood of them washing in. And, you know, the one's gone. They already got 2-3 more in place and shit. Fucking. Anyways, what a waste of life. You see, this is all there is. We just sit around here for 40 years talking about why is this happening? Why do I have to be here? And this is all there is. This is the most intelligent fucking topic in the world no one's ever discussed. It's just it's fucking rocket scientist level. I guess no one's figured any of it out. Fucking. Yet somehow. No, what happens is when I talk to people about it, half of them don't want to hear that there ain't no invisible bird gods and flying reindeers. Because I think they're benefiting from it. Someone's benefiting from invading, raping, and enslaving people. Rapists benefit from raping people. Enslavers benefit from enslaving people. That's who's benefiting from it. So that's why when you're a toddler and you ask someone your first and only question in the world, it's geared up towards getting them to tell you if they're lying to you for fun or if they're lying to you for manipulative purposes or very disgusting purposes. That's why your question isn't even your question, because you can't ask the question. You have to figure out what their personality is and why they're driven to speak in such a manner and promote such hostile fucking child predator tactics. And lo and behold, so here we are. We became conscious, and within no time we were like, yeah, why are you acting like a child predator? And then we got the answer we expected to get, which wasn't the most positive answer. And we're like, well, we're never going to talk to anyone again. See you later. Get out of my face. And then they're like, no. You got to listen to us and be around us and hang out with us and come to school with us. And we're going to drug you and enslave you. And it's like, oh, so the answer to why you're inventing tooth fairies and shit is because you're a fucking passive aggressive pussy ass bitch who's got a real bad fucking terrorist attitude and genetic code and shit. Fucking learn that. You see how you ask the question that ain't really fucking what you're looking for in order to study the verb usage and the response of the person asking, and then their future actions will give you supporting evidence to their personality that was actually behind the intent and use of previous child predator propaganda. That they're not smart enough to figure all that shit out. They don't care. They don't have emotions, especially if they're NPC. They have zero emotions. Fucking, they could care less if you care about anything. Fucking, that is a fact, though, ain't it?